weather that we had yesterday, and probably coaches are glad just to have some warmth and not have to be out in the rain that fell last night and the wind. It was kind of a wild night playing in a tropical depression. But anyway, we had lots of games played last night. We were at Oakland as the Patriots took on the Rockvale Rockets, and it was a victory for the Patriots 60-0. They scored 23 points in each of the first two quarters, and it was a night field position. Oakland got the ball, I think, just to be on the generous side of this. I know 2 series started at the 11, maybe 3, but we'll say inside the 15. Oakland got the ball 4 times inside the 15-yard line. So the short field and field position and kicking into the wind, it was crazy. But Oakland a winner 60-0 last night. It was Blackman winning at Siegel 28-7. Riverdale had a 21-0 victory over the Coffee County Red Raiders. All of these region games, by the way. Smyrna 23, McGavock 0. 23-0, the final in that one. And I understand in the Smyrna game, they had, at one report I heard 85 and another I heard 81-yard punt last night. Wind aided, of course, I would say. Stewart's Creek 27, Antioch 6, a huge win for the Redhawks at Antioch last night. Cane Ridge edged Laverne 12-10. We were really rooting for those Wolverines last night against Cane Ridge, but wasn't to be last night anyway. Wayne County a winner over Eagleville 14-7. It was Friendship 35-0 over MTCS. And I'm not sure if I've got that right or not. It may have been 35-7, but I'll check that for you. We'll get that corrected. And also it was PCA over the Kings Academy 17-14, the final score there. So it was a dreary, yucky, whatever you want to say about it night. It was not fun. But we got the games in. Talking a little earlier, it was 35-7, by the way. I need to correct that score on the scoreboard. But, the rain that fell and, gates, there were not huge crowds at last night's games just because of the conditions. And I hate that because, you only have so many home gates, and it takes a lot to outfit a football team and all the things that go along with that. So hopefully some better weather ahead as we go through the last few weeks here of the regular season, which next week is kind of a different week. We've got several games on Thursday. I see count 5 on Thursday and 5 on Friday. So the reason for that is the following week is fall break, which most of our teams, all the teams that we'll be talking to this morning, will have a bye week. Next week, that's not this week, though. It's the following. Thursday night, we'll have Thursday Night Lights. Siegel at Oakland. It's McGavock at Laverne. Riverdale at Cane Ridge. Coffee County at Rockvale. And Stewart's Creek at West Creek on Thursday night. Then on Friday, we will have South Pittsburgh at MTCS on the radio for you. Pure Academy is at Blackman. Tennessee Heat at Eagleville. PCA at Grundy County. And Smyrna at East Nashville. That's the slate of games that are coming up next week as well. So we'll talk about last night's games, getting through last night's games, going to next week, trying to get, teams on a positive note going into that fall break period. So we've got a lot to discuss this morning. I'll have your first group up here in just a couple of moments. Then that'll be Riverdale, Smyrna, and Blackman. John will take over at 9:45 with Laverne, Oakland, Stewart's Creek, and Rockvale. And then at 10:45 or so, Bill Hockenberry in this morning to tackle the Siegel Stars, Eagleville Eagles, and MTCS Cougars on the show this morning. So let's jump right into the conversation. Will Kreisky will join me next here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
An app for easy payment.
Solar energy solutions.
I just want to talk to a real person when I need help.
Energy tips and low rates.
Done, 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 done.
I want to fly my car to the moon.
Houston, let's talk about electric vehicles. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
The Blue Raider fan source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. T-shirts, caps, sweats in all sizes, designs, colors, children's to plus sizes. Raider Tees has decals and license plates to show everyone your favorite team. Plus, check out their wide selection of Blue Raider art, jewelry, even golf tee markers. Show your Blue Raider pride with the largest selection of Blue Raider merchandise anywhere by shopping Raider Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, just before the bridge over Broad behind Chewy's.
Pizza.
You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carryout or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
We are back here on the Coaches Show, which is brought to you in part by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, wings, and other local favorites on Warrior Drive. Locally operated by Riverdale alum Anne Marie Brents and the Lanning family. That's Rick's Barbecue. I'm sure that they're great partners for you guys and a lot of other businesses. And, well, you have to rely on them, especially when you only have a few hundred at the gate last night, right?
Yes, they do. They help us out anytime with our pregame meals and things like that. And a lot of people around Warrior Drive help us out, and we appreciate all the sponsors that, come to us, help us out. Like Longhorn did our pregame meal last night. They've been really good partners with and take care of us. And so, yes, when you have low attendance like that, you better go shake some hands and give some hugs and ask for a few donations. And we are blessed in this community to have so many people that are willing to help people on Warrior Drive.
Well, I know last night the plan was to try to honor those who helped with the field turf, and you decided to push that, which is good. Get a better weather night hopefully down the road.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if I told somebody this week if it wasn't a better year to get turf, I don't know when it would be. We've had 3 home games, and all 3 home games we've had some kind of rain either before, during, or after the game, but we've had a lot of rain. But again, the turf's been in good use last night. I think I'm still trying to dry off, but it was faced a lot of adversity. The kids played well, and the kids did what they needed to do. We didn't play great, but again, we were in different circumstances and different weather conditions, and it's tough. We played similar in the year against Beach, similar situation. I think the wind was a lot more crazy last night than it was at Beach, but again, they handled all the situations as good as they could, and I'm proud. At the end of the day, we got to win.
Well, that was all of your home games. In that game against Beach, has there been, I guess there's been like one really good week for weather, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
It's crazy. Last night was different, though. I mean, the wind was something else.
It was. I should have kicked a field goal right before half, but I didn't know because the wind was blowing in our face. It hit me pretty hard. Coach, discussed it with Coach Armand. He didn't feel too good about it, but it was just something we had to deal with, and both teams had to deal with it. So,
yeah, Khalil had a couple of kicks for you last night. Though,
yeah, he
didn't
did. He had 42, and I can't remember what the other one, 28,
25, 28, something like that.
Somewhere in there, and he did a good job. And the snapper, Cooper Dees, the hold, Malachi Tellin, and then the kick with him. That's all 3 parts are critical. Our punt block, punt return team had a big night last night because they frustrated their snapper and their punter, and it gave us good field position last night. And I told the kids before the game, special teams was going to be very critical, and our punt block team helped us set up good field position all night and created us opportunities to put the ball in the end zone.
Talk about special teams a little bit, because I think it's, we spend a lot of time talking about so-and-so rushed this much and, caught this many passes. And, those offensive and defensive linemen don't get the credit, but I don't know that special teams players do either.
No, they don't. Miles Weaver's our punter, and he did a great job punting the ball last night. I mean, it's a tough situation. Again, Cooper D's out there snapping on punt team, and he did an excellent job snapping the ball in that type of weather. And Miles got a hold of a few. They were bringing all 11. They didn't even have a returner back, and they were trying to bring all 11. And I can't brag enough on Coach Pelchat and the punt team and how good a job they did this week with the pressure they had and the situation they were in. And I thought all the kids handled it well.
Did you know that with Coffee County coming into it that they were going to try to do that?
Yeah. They've shown it on film, and they come get them, and they put it out on film, and we knew it was going to be a tough situation. We hard counted them one time, they jumped off sides, and we got a first down. So, again, Coach Pelchat installed some good things this week so those kids could be successful on the punt team.
Will Kreisky joining us talking Riverdale football this morning. In the course of last night, how important is it to, I don't even know if you won the coin toss, but I mean, do you look at things like that? And, if you can get the wind at your back in the second and fourth quarters, I mean, how do you go into a game knowing that weather's going to be a factor?
Well, yeah, you knew it was, and that's what I was talking to some of the captains. They were like, we want the ball. And I said, no, let's defer, because, again, on film, their punt team has not been great, and I felt like our defense could go out and stop them early on, and then when they punt the ball, and that's what happened. We stopped them, and they shanked the punt, and we got the ball at plus 30. And then first play, Caden Bailey took it in for a touchdown. So I felt like that would set us up good, and it did. And then after that, we kind of struggled a little bit. Again, it's a situation with the weather and things like that. But I'm proud of the way our kids handled adversity. A lot of times in those situations, you can kind of fold. But I thought our kids 8-0 at halftime. They didn't fold. They weren't arguing or bickering. We had to adjust some things. They got coached at halftime, and things were fixed. And they come out and corrected it, and they played the second half.
The score was 8-0 at the half. Did the weather have anything to do with going for two, or was that a plan?
No, it was not a plan. They jumped off sides, and I looked at Coach Barnes and said, "Let's go heavy." He said, "Yep," and our heavy package went out there, and then we went for two. And we both thought, with the situation, you don't know how it's going to play out.
Sure.
Any point could be critical. We thought, we could get that extra point in that situation.
John talked about it during our broadcast last night, especially in the pregame show, about how important it would be to score first for anybody, just because of the conditions that you were playing in. You had no idea whether the rain was going to get harder, if the wind was going to blow harder as the game went along. So scoring first was huge.
Yes, and I remember years ago, I think in 2009, we played Blackman. And it was a torrential downpour, and it was like you said, nobody could score, and so we went into overtime. And I remember that game like every point's gonna matter, and I thought that was a good situation to go for two.
Was that the year that everybody decided to play on Thursday, and Thursday was worse than Friday? Maybe that was later than that.
Yeah,
maybe
I think we played that game on a Friday.
Yeah. What about the decision to do that? I know that some schools are playing today even. Thursday's weather, it didn't look like it was going to be better. It was. I mean, it's a crapshoot when you're trying to move things around. Yeah. So how do you handle that?
Yeah, it's stressful. And that situation, things I was dealing with on Wednesday, I talked Coffee County coaching staff, administration, they were easy to deal with. And we went back and forth, and, we talked about moving it to Thursday, and then I looked at right before I was going to make the decision, I looked at the weather, and like you said, it was going to be a downpour at 7 o'clock on Thursday. Yeah. And I said, let's wait it out and let's try to get this thing in on Friday, and because both teams wanted to get the game in. It's a region game, and so we just gambled with Friday. And like I said, when I saw Coffee on yesterday when they got there, I apologized to him. Said we should have moved it to Thursday, but he said, well, thank goodness you got turf. So there was positives in it.
Yeah, and that has to weigh in a decision, because number one, if you didn't, you would want to do everything you could to protect the field, because you've got more home games, and a sloppy night's going to tear things up.
Yeah, if we'd had grass field, we'd have played on Thursday night.
Yeah,
I would have been all for playing Thursday
doubt.
Night. But again, with having turf, luxury, and I thought it'd been the benefit for all to play on Friday night.
Yeah, well, I think it was Coach Woodward who said that they moved a game up playing on natural surface, and said I would rather play in a downpour on a harder surface than wait a day in solid rain and play in a downpour on a soggy surface.
Exactly.
So, Coach, it was a region win, and Coffee County's in the mix with a lot of other teams here for playoffs. So that doesn't need to be a region win that we scoff at here.
No, I think they're much improved.
They are.
The coach is doing a really good job, and Coach Oliver over there running the offense. And I thought they were very physical up front on both sides of the ball, offense and defensively. And I think they created some problems for us at times. And I was very impressed of how well they're coached. I thought that our defense played really well. JoJo Smith, Aiden Edmonds, all them guys. I mean, we only gave up 40 total yards on defense last night. 3 first down. We've only gave up 3 first down on defense, and I was highly impressed. In games like that, in the weather situations, you got to rely on your defense, and our defense stepped up to the challenge and played well enough to keep us right there in the game at all times and not give them any. They created 2 turnovers also. So, I can't be more proud of the defense side of the ball. And they kept us in the game to where, we could feel comfortable and get the offense going to where they can get in the end zone.
Well, the page turns, and you do indeed have a short week this week playing on Thursday night, and that's Cane Ridge, right, on the road?
Yeah, we head to Cane Ridge on Thursday night, and, it's the game right before fall break, and, kids will be excited for it. It's, again, like you said, it'll be a short week, so we got to get to work. We got to get to work this afternoon and start getting stuff done. So we'll be prepared when the kids come in tomorrow and get to work on Cane Ridge. It's a non-region game. It's our last non-region game. But still, it's been a good competitive game for us.
I know coaches are creatures of habit, and any move you want to continue to do the same things. Do you just move everything up by a day that you plan on doing?
Yeah, we try to do that a little bit. And our Monday practice will be a mix of our Monday and Tuesday practices, and then same thing with Tuesday, and then Wednesday will be our Thursday practice. So we try to do some things, and our Wednesday practice will be a little bit longer than what it is, and we'll spend a little bit more time with them tomorrow when they come in.
It's always a pretty quick turnaround for coaches, but what's your philosophy on, you give the players 24 hours and then let's look ahead, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I give them all day. We don't mess with them on Saturdays and let them enjoy their Saturdays. And then we when they come in on Sundays, we just want to try to make sure any bumps and bruises that need to be taken care of, and we watch film of Friday night's game. That way we can put that to bed and start working on our opponent Sunday night and into Monday morning with the kids.
I guess it's much different now, but, kids get their own highlights. They're already there for them to watch whenever they want to on their phone, and they have homework in football, right?
Yeah, they do, and our kids do a good job. I can't brag enough on how well they study the game and watch film. They want to get better, and that's what I've been impressed with this group. This group's a pretty close-knit group, and they work hard, and they want to get better. Even last night, some of the offensive guys were upset, because they didn't feel like they played well, and they want to get better. And when you got guys that have attitudes and mentality like that, when you win 21-0 and they're not happy, and you win 21-0 a region win with bad weather conditions, and they're not happy, you can deal with that. You can come back to work and get better, and those types of mentality and attitude will help us, along the way, because we don't have any easy games, and we got to stay focused and keep working. And if we take anybody for granted, it won't be a good Friday night for us.
Yeah, still a lot of football ahead here, and Coach, good luck on Thursday night at Cane Ridge, and we'll see you back here Saturday morning.
All right, appreciate it.
That is Will Kreisky joining us here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Franklin's Printworks has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer, everything from business cards, brochures, booklets to banners. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Print Works. We hear a lot people who have been working with printers on the internet, had issues, and they know that if we're working with someone local, that A, they know where to find us, and B, they know that we'll take care of it because we have to take care of our neighbors. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
This segment of the Coaches Show, as we talk about Smyrna Bulldog football, brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get legal help when they've needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day. Matt Williams joins us, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs. And, Coach, you have been at this for quite some time. Last night, we've played in a few tropical downpours and wind, but last night has to rank up there pretty good.
Yeah, I would say so. We were talking about, I can't remember the hurricane name, but I think it was 04, somewhere in there. And, I was defense coordinator sitting up in the box and at Smyrna, and just remember the plexiglass windows just shaking back and forth. And I think we were playing Blackman that night, and their punter punted the ball, and it actually went up and went backwards. So, I don't think it was that bad last night, but it was probably a close second.
There was one year also that teams decided to play on Thursday night instead of Friday, trying to beat the weather, and it came in sooner. And Thursday night's weather was terrible, and and then the few that stuck it out and waited for Friday had a really nice night. So you just never know. Do you remember that year?
That was the same year.
Oh, was it? Okay.
We played on Thursday night, and it was awful. And Friday night, it was beautiful. So, but you never know. I think that's the thing with this one. If we'd all played on Thursday night, it'd have been pretty acceptable weather. And but you never know with the weather forecasters. So.
Well, I mean, the forecast for Thursday did not look good at all, and that was supposed to be the start of everything. And so, you roll the dice one way or another. I think one thing that's different now is you, like many other of the teams here in Rutherford County, have the turf. So how much did that play into let's just keep it on Friday night?
A lot. I mean, because you don't have to worry about, if you had a grass field last night, I'm sure it had been awful. So, it factors a great deal into it because you don't have to worry about that aspect of it. And so that's a nice part of it. I was thinking about that driving in yesterday morning. It's crazy how things change, and when you've been in it a long time, and you take something like that, you used to have to worry so much about it. It helps not to have to worry about it.
And the worry is maybe not as well, maybe as equally to the game itself and playing on a wet surface, but what it looks like afterward, because you still have more games to play, and you can really do a lot of damage to a field.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. I mean, there's been times in the past where, you have to come back and roll your field after a muddy game and just hope that, that you still have some grass left. But, we've always been blessed at Smyrna High School. I think it's something that, Robert Rakes established. I think we always had a really, really nice field. And so we never really had any terrible games where the field was just destroyed. But I played on, as a coach and as a player, played on some pretty rough fields. So it was nice last night not to have to stand in the mud and the muck.
Well, you and I both have been around the block, if we can remember 2004, and still doing stuff at that point. But last night was a good win for your team, beating McGavock 23-0. And, we're talking about how most teams probably went into it with a couple of things. So let's start with the coin toss. Do you want the ball? Do you defer? You pick which side of the field, and all of that plays into that simple toss of the coin.
Yeah, I told our captain, Brett Williams is one of our captains. I told him that we're going to defer, and obviously want the wind at our back. So in that case, we wanted to be facing the scoreboard, and luckily that's exactly how it started off. And I think there's two schools of thought. You either want, in my mind, you want the win to start off with and make sure you get off to a good start. And the thing about last night, though, I don't think it really mattered. You still weren't going to throw the ball very efficiently unless it was just short passing game. And but yeah, it actually worked out the way I wanted it to as far as the start, and it actually helped us in our kick game, especially on punts. LeBar Noor last night, our kicker punter, had just a crazy night. His first punt was like a 47-yard punt. He pinned McGavick on like a 3-yard. The ball, I've never seen a ball check up like that. It was with the wind. So when he kicked it, he boomed it, and I said, that's going in the end zone. And it went straight up in the air, laid down, and just sat there. I couldn't believe it. And then later on, he had an 81-yard punt. And the thing about that one was he did boom it. It wasn't like it was all wind. He boomed the punt, and then it hit and started rolling, but it didn't roll. It rolled long ways. It was crazy. And that wind sort of caught it and just took it down there, and we were actually backed up when he kicked that ball, and that was a huge play in the game.
You see that sometimes on the field turf when you get a high bounce when it hits, and I saw it a couple of times in the broadcast game we had last night. When it bounced up into the air, the wind just carried it. It was like there was an invisible kicker there.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I was proud of LeBar for not disappointing. He was 3 of 3 for PATs, and you got also, with that weather, Brett Williams, our long snapper on punts, obviously did a great job, and Grayson Pitts, our short snapper, and Britton Judkins is our holder. To be 3 of 3 on PATs on a night last night, and to execute your punt game, I was proud of all those kids.
We've got Matt Williams joining us, talking Smyrna football this morning. The other thing after the coin toss, when all of that's settled, one of the first things you want to do on a night when weather is such a factor is score first. And you were able to do that, and your defense pitched the shutout. So you got two really good things right there in a weird game, weather game. Yeah,
I thought for the most part we ran the ball well. Ryan Carver had 131 yards and a touchdown, and Hayden Augustine had 63. He got a little dinged up, but he had 2 touchdowns. And for the most part, I thought offensive line did a good job. We still got to have some busts we've got to clean up, and had some turnovers we got to clean up. But that's I think we would have scored more if we hadn't turned the football over. We turned it over one time inside the 10-yard line. So those things are the type of things that will really haunt you against a good football team. And obviously next week against East Nashville, those kind of things will get us beat. But I thought for the most part we did a good job offensively as far as having to adjust. We weren't able to throw the ball. I think we threw it for like 6 yards last night or something like that. And Britton threw a couple of good balls. We had some drop balls too, so it wasn't all him. I thought offensively we did what we had to do, and scoring first was big. And we were able to score, when we needed to, and I was proud of our kids for that. And also got a safety, and very proud of the defense. I thought Brody Hines had a really good night on defense. The linebacker had 11 tackles, and DJ Barksdale, a defensive end, had 8 tackles, and had a bunch of kids play really good on defense. But was proud of that group for getting their second shutout in a row.
Coach, I don't know if it's the year or what it is, but 3 of our broadcasts that we've had, there's been a safety. You had a safety last night. Is this the year of the safety? I don't know that I've seen that many in forever.
Yeah, maybe so. I thought we had one before it actually happened, and we forced them back there. We had them inside their 5, and their punter their snapper, sort of had a little bit of errant snap, and the punter stepped back out of the end zone. But before that, we had almost sacked the quarterback in the end zone. He threw it forward. It didn't make it out of the end zone. And I'm still puzzled on that one because they said there was a receiver in the area, and I looked at it on film last night, and there was no receiver anywhere near it. But so really should have 2 safeties. But, maybe so. But, I thought our defense did a really good job. It's easy on a night like last night to get lost, in the run game, especially if they were running some, sort of loaded offensive sets. And it's easy to get lost in those things. And I thought we played really physical and fast last night, so I was proud of our kids.
wet ball is always a concern on a weather night. What is your procedure? I know a lot of teams do different things. I mean, how do you make sure that there's the driest ball possible out there on each snap?
Well, we had had ball boy on either side last night. We don't do that a lot, but on wet nights we like to do that. And Nick Belcher's our ball. He's a sophomore. I think he's a junior now, so I hate to say ball. He's one of our student assistants, put it that way. And Cole Kill also was on the visitor side. But, we have waterproof, I guess it's frog tog, waterproof bags. And they're sort of backpacks, but we put them on them backwards so they're on their chest. And, you can get about 3 footballs in there. And, some we did last night, we also used kitty litter. Our wet balls we put into a container with kitty litter to sort of soak that moisture up. And so you do things like that and just hope for the best. And we have, certain towels, basically, I guess you would dry your car off with after you wash your car that, really water absorbent type towels that we use. So, you do it, it's sort of funny what you do to win a football game, but we try to leave no stone unturned. And so I was proud of, Nick Belcher and Cole Kill did a good job last night, getting the balls in.
When you have home games, Coach, you want the stands as full as can be. Home games are very important because the money that comes in helps to continue the program. And I know on nights like last night, crowds are generally down just overall. And you kind of – there are a lot of things that you're thinking of, in that. I meant to ask you about that earlier. But home crowds are very important to continue to – help pay for the program, really.
Yeah, it's it is, and you sort of last night when I saw the one thing we were going to play, but I knew we were going to take a big hit, and fans and parents, a lot of them don't realize we don't get supplemented anything by Rutherford County as far as our budgets. It's all we have to raise all that money, and we're fortunate as Smyrna High School to have some really good supporters and really good boosters, but it still is a big hit to you when you don't get that gate money, because that's what you're really counting on. And a lot of the stuff you have to order as a football program, you sort of have to order before you know what you're going to have in the bank, so to speak. And it's called fall billing. And a lot of those things you have to get ahead of time where you get them in, such as helmets, shoulder pads, and stuff like that. And so when you have a gate like last night, which I'm sure is going to be terrible, and it was our homecoming as well, which normally would have been a good gate. Mm-hmm. You have to sort of offset those things. So, the supporters and people of these programs just need to realize that and maybe try to help out a little bit. But yeah, last night was sort of an anomaly because obviously usually Robert L. Rake Stadium is going to be pretty packed, and so you just have to adjust, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, maybe if you didn't go last night and you usually go or plan to go, just pay for that ticket. That could help as well. Coach, I don't remember whether we mentioned DJ Barksdale's night last night on defense, 8 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, and Brody Hines with 11 tackles. So your defense pitched another shutout. You're going to need everybody healthy and ready to go on Thursday night, right? Are you playing? No, you're playing on Friday at East Nashville.
No, we're Thursday.
Oh, are you?
Thursday night at East Nashville. And I thought, DJ and Brody both played really good. I thought our linebackers in general, McCowtown, sophomore, that came in and had a sack, I think a fumble recovery. And Denzel Yarborough played really good. I thought defense back physical. And, Amari Hill, Jerry Martin's always, a disruptor like Connor Clark, a defensive end. I saw some good things out of him last night. Thought he played hard. And the thing about Connor, he had to play a lot both ways because offensively we were in some sets we normally wouldn't be in a lot with 2 tight ends. So Connor, I was proud of him for his effort and how hard he played on both sides of the football.
Well, Coach, good luck on Thursday night. I know a short week, and being a creature of habit, a lot of times you don't really like having the game a day earlier, but it is what it is, I guess. So I'm sure that you'll have a little accelerated practice schedule for the week.
Yeah, we will. We'll practice tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So everything will be moved up today. We're going 3 to 4:30 tomorrow, and then everything has been moved up. So it's like you said, it is what it is. And the one name I left out, I meant to mention Zion Blakemore, also had outstanding night on defense. I thought he played really hard and physical. I don't want to leave him out, but. Yeah, we'll be at East Nashville. I'm excited about it because it's a great atmosphere. They're a very storied program. It's been a lot, last number of years in a lot of state championship games and have made deep playoff runs. So very excited about it, and our kids will be excited about it. It'll be another great test for us to going to the teeth of our region schedule.
Matt, appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next Saturday morning.
All right, thanks, Brian.
That is Matt Williams joining us, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. Online at mte.com.
We're at Rick's Barbecue talking with Anne-Marie Brentz, who says they're ready to feed your entire crew with the family pack.
It's a pound of pork or any of our pulled meats, and then you get two 16-ounce sides, and then you get a bag of chips, which are plain or barbecue, and then the buns come with it, and then you get one of our drink choices, which is either a 2-liter of one of our sodas or a half-gallon of one of our teas.
And don't forget the famous Rick's Loaded Baked Potato.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds.
Let Rick's Barbecue do the cooking, 212 Warrior Drive.
Local business owners, you know how important it is to be here for your customers. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and I run a small business in Rutherford County too. I'm here to help you protect your small business. Call me at 615-900-0877.
At State Farm, when home and auto work together as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm Agent Ron Reeves. Give me a call at 615-873-1700, and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto.
At First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, we believe in making a difference in everything we do. From helping local businesses grow to guiding families towards financial stability, we are improving lives one customer at a time. Hi, I'm John Allen, Vice President and Commercial Banker.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. Online at fnbmt.com.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
We are back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services. Head coach Matt Kreisky joins us of the Blackman Blaze, and you brought a helper this morning?
Yeah, this is the boss right here. She takes care of business and makes sure that I'm in line and make sure I'm doing everything the right way. So she wanted to tag along this morning, and so she's had her donut. We appreciate that, and now she's just sitting here waiting to tell me the next thing to do after we get done this morning.
And what's her name?
This is Lindley.
Lindley. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. But she must love some Uncle Will, too. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, she does. So.
As soon as I finished the interview with him, that was the first person that met him at the door. So pretty cool. Last night, I said, "How are you this morning?" You said, "Dry," and that's a big thing, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You've been coaching, playing for all these years. Last night has to rank in a top 5 of misery.
Yes, we knew it. You watched the weather all week, and you knew it was going to get bad. Talked to Coach Renshaw during the week. We talked about moving the game up, but you're always playing a guessing game, so you really don't know. So we stuck with it on Friday, and like you said, it was raining. I thought, we saw a little break in. I was hoping, early on we could probably maybe do some things we want to do offensively. But then all of a sudden it came down. That wind was blowing, so we were fortunate. In the third quarter, I told our coaches, I want to fight the wind in the third quarter and have the wind with us in the fourth. Felt good about that because in the first half, it was against us in the first quarter, and in the second quarter we had it. And I thought that's when we were able to score some more points. I scored those 14 points in the second quarter. So I thought the win was huge, I thought.
Yeah, how the little things that go into a game. Most of the time you don't think much about the coin toss, but it was important last night. Did you all win the coin toss?
No, we did not. Single one. They deferred to the second half, and so
they had the wind at their back in the first quarter,
yes,
which is what you would want to do. So then you have to react to that.
Yes, and so that's what. every little thing. Can't say enough about Ian Molina. He's our center, long snapper. And so he did a great job. I thought snapping the ball under the conditions that we had last night. And the biggest thing that we told quarterbacks, running backs, just ball security. If we can not have any turnovers, it's going to give us it's a great chance to win tonight. I thought they did a great job. Marcus did a great job managing the game, doing what we asked him to do. Wasn't able to throw the ball much, but the throws that he threw, were where we wanted him to throw the ball, and then he did a great job.
You had the wind at your back in the second quarter. You knew that was going to be a big quarter for you. It almost really shortens the game, doesn't it? I mean, instead of a 4-quarter game, I know you play the other 2 quarters, but it's almost like a 2-quarter game.
Yeah. So the first and third quarter, my biggest thing is I wanted to get through both of them and not have any huge and critical mistakes. And so I told our offensive guys, I said, going in the third quarter, I said, well, let's run this football. Let's get to the fourth quarter, and I felt good about it. And I thought, we did some good things. Going in the game, I think both teams' defense played well. That the key to the game is running the football, so they're going to stack the box and they're going to come after you. I thought Siegel's defense played great. Our offensive line just did what we asked them to do. Everything wasn't great and perfect, but we executed at times we needed to. We got a crucial first down on a 4th down when we needed it in the game. That was really huge. So I think that really helped us. And then I thought our special teams played well, and did what we asked them to do. The times we had to punt, Braxton Benali punted the ball well, did a great job for us. We hit our extra points. And and then our kickoff team played well, so we're really impressed with that under the conditions. The one negative that I have, and it's just as coaches we're always looking at the negatives. Try to be as positive as can be. Up 21-0, I like to finish. Like to go ahead and finish the game, but we let them. Defense played well all game. I can't say enough about the defense. Defense did an outstanding job. Our defensive lineman Archie Roseman had a touchdown last night, so I got to give him a shout out. When you get when a big guy like that scoring a touchdown, that's huge, and he was really excited about that. But we gave up one deep ball, and other than that, I thought our defense almost played near perfect. So I was really proud of them, impressed with them. Our secondary played a great job coming up on making tackles. And again, Ethan Carson, Rodney Irvin did a great job at inside linebacker. So proud of them, and it's just we've got to build off this. Cannot have a letdown next week against Pure Academy.
And Matt Kreisky with us talking Blackman football. I've talked to the other 2 coaches this morning that I'm talking to about scoring first and how important that is on a night like last night when the wind and rain, you're battling that. You just don't know whether you're going to get a score sometimes, and especially 2 quarters being really tough and the weather against you with the wind too.
Yes, like you said, you did not know when you were going to score, when you'd get the opportunity. So when we got that first touchdown, it was kind of a little sigh of relief because you could tell going in the game it was going to be tough, and no matter who you were playing last night. So it was really crucial. Once we got that, I felt like the kids relaxed a little bit and kind of started playing our style of football. So that was huge, and you just saw it with the field position, and that played a crucial part in the game last night.
Special teams is part of that, and it's one of the 3 big pillars of a football team. Doesn't maybe get as much love as it probably should, but last night was a night where special teams is really highlighted, especially with the weather conditions. So how do you handle kicking into a strong wind like that?
You either get to decide if you're going to kick into it, or you're going to go for it on 4th down. And if you don't get it, you're putting your defense in a bad position. So in the third quarter, I didn't want to take the chance of having a bad kick, and that's nothing against our punter, but I just felt like it was 4th and inches, and I felt like, I told the guys, like, we've got to get it. Hunker down. We've got to get it. I told our running back, just run the ball hard and get it. And we were, they knew what we were going to do, and we were able to get that yard that we needed to move the chains, and so that was huge. But at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, Braxton Benali, one of his last punts, he put the ball, he downed it on the 1 yard line, and that was huge for us.
Yeah.
And so for him to be able to do that, pin them deep, and not give them another opportunity. I mean, essentially they would have had to drive 99 yards into the, with the win against them to score another touchdown.
In my Smyrna interview and in our broadcast game last night, a couple in both of those games, there was at least one punt that hit, and when it bounces on the turf, sometimes it can get a high bounce, and then the wind carried it another 10 yards, and so you never know.
Yeah, we blocked one early, but that Seagull had the wind with them, and we blocked it, so it still went forward as it came down to hit one of our guys, and they fell on it, so they got the ball back. Any other situation, that block punt would have went the other way, and everything would have been fine. But that was last night. Then we were fortunate in the second quarter to block one. That they had a mishap on a snap. We blocked one. Jonah Brown was able to fall on the end zone to give us the touchdown. So it was huge. We had a special team touchdown and a defensive touchdown. So those things were huge for us last night.
Boy, that makes a coach really smile, doesn't it? When you can score in all three phases.
Yes, it does.
Well, you survive, advance. It's a region win, which is crucial. You stack up as many of those as possible, obviously, and hopefully better weather for next Friday night, because that's a home game for you guys, right?
Yes, it's homecoming. Pure Academy is coming to town. Excuse me, again from last year, so it'll be our homecoming game. It's a neat time for the Blackman community for homecoming. We'll have a parade on Friday. So that'll be huge, pep rally, and a lot of things going on Friday.
Homecoming week is it's great, but I don't know that I haven't met a coach that loves homecoming week for many reasons.
No, there's a lot of distractions. It's just, it is what it is. Whenever I was at Centennial, they did something a little bit different, and I thought it was neat. They did all the activities on Thursday, and then Friday was just a normal school day. That's the only school that I've ever been a part of that did it that way. They told me when I got there, that's what one of the first coaches at the school, that's the way he wanted it, and they kept it that way. So that was the only thing different. It did have a lot of teachers and people in that community complain because, you want all the homecoming events on Friday. But I look at it, man, if the community and everyone enjoys on Friday, let's have it on Fridays. Guys, you're going to have to deal with distractions every week. So how are we going to handle these distractions? Are we going to be able to overcome them, or are we going to let these distractions affect us in the game?
Well, what do you know about Pure Academy?
Well, I've seen them a little bit on film earlier in the year. They're athletic, just like they were last year. They're big up front. They have speed. So we're going to have to come ready to play. Hopefully, going in, their numbers are low. So hopefully we can wear them down a little bit. But I expect in the first quarter it's going to be a hard fought game, and hopefully we can wear them down a little bit. Not have any turnovers and eliminate their big play team. So we got to eliminate the big plays and not let them have big plays and give them momentum to be in the game next Friday.
Well, I know that it's also the week before your bye. It's the week before fall break. You've got homecoming, so there are a lot of distractions and things that are there. I haven't met a coach that likes going into a bye with a loss either. So
no, that does not make the bye week fun. So we got to take care of business and do what we're supposed to next Friday night, so we can enjoy our fall break, and then start getting ready for the big one.
Well, Coach, good luck against Pure Academy. Again, homecoming for the Blaze. And, you do it right there in the community parade and everything, right?
Yes. It's neat to, have the parade going through the middle school, the elementary school, as the kids seeing it, all the kids growing up from elementary school to middle school to high school being a part of that. That's really neat. So it's going to be a fun day on Friday.
One thing that I think is really cool about all of the schools, from the elementary to the middle school and the high school, you've got the same logo, the Flaming Bee, and have kind of adopted that. And I think that it builds Blackman pride from kids being in kindergarten right on through high school.
It does. They have to be on the shirt from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. So that's something special. You know, you're here in a big city, Rutherford County, but you get a small town feel in a Blackman community that really supports each other from the elementary, middle school to high school. And it's a great community. It's a great place to be a part of, to see everyone from the elementary school to the high school on the same page. Can't say enough about the administration at the elementary school, middle school, and then what they're doing at the high school. But we are Blackman.
Coach, good luck, and we'll see you next Saturday morning.
Thank you.
That is Matt Kreisky joining us here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more online at jhacompany.com.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
If you're near retirement or thinking about retiring, you probably have a lot of questions. How do you make your savings last? You're ready for retirement, but are your finances? Let's work together to help ensure your finances can keep up with your unique needs over the long haul. I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for an appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And this portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. And welcome back. John Dingens here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. And we're joined by head coach Mike Woodward, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines. And, Coach, I hope you're dry somewhere and warm.
Yes. Finally, took a nice shower, got warm, got dry, and still trying to recover a little bit from last night.
I have seen I've been to games where there's a lot of rain or, even snow. But that swirling rain that happened in that second half, I don't think I've ever seen that. And the wind just picking up with that rain kind of popping in your face. And a couple of quarters, you've got the wind to your back, and one you're facing a tough wind in your face. Just how did you guys cope with that last night?
Yeah, you're right. It's been, first off, it's been years since I've been in a game with, that mixture of wind and rain. And, as far as coping with it, I thought our guys did a great job with it. Only turned the ball over one time and, obviously when you're in weather and field conditions like that, I mean, ball security is a priority. And as a coach, you're just sitting there, just every snap, it's almost like the first thing you're hoping for is please just hold on to the ball. And, just had the one turnover. But our punt team was fantastic in terms of snapping it, catching it, kicking it, getting it out. So I thought our guys handled the weather really, really well. I mean, of course, hurts the pass game, which we're not a big throwing team anyway. But overall, I thought we handled it really well.
I really felt like your offense works real well in as long as you don't fumble the ball. It works real well in this kind of weather. But if you get behind, or it's kind of a game that could be difficult. You kept that game was close last night, so I guess at any point it was anybody's game, really.
Yeah, it was. We like I said, we had a turnover, and it happened towards the end of the first half. Where they returned a fumble to the 1-yard line and got their score, and that's how they ended up being up 6-0 at half. But then, we calmed the guys down, told them not to worry. We knew this was going to be a close, sloppy game, and they were going to make a mistake, and we were going to cash in on it, and just have faith and keep plugging away. And sure enough, our defense pinned them deep. We had a guy come through unblocked to block a punt. Had a chance to fall on it in the end zone and didn't. They ended up falling on it. So, it was still a safety, but, we missed an opportunity for 6 points right there. But we got that safety to get momentum on our side. And then a couple series later, got a touchdown and conversion to go up 10-6. And then they were just able to run the ball, down our throats there at the end and scored with, I think it was 2.5 left to go up 12-10.
12-10, it doesn't look like much, in terms of the score, but with 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes to go, in those conditions, that's not an easy task to try to overcome either.
No, it's not. And we were going into the wind, like you talked about the blowing rain, and in our faces, and we're trying to throw the ball in those conditions, and it didn't go well. We completed the first one, second one was incomplete, and then 2 more incompletions after that. So, and that was all she wrote. They were able to kneel on it after that. So, yeah, very, very tough conditions to try to come from behind in, and painful loss. It hurts because unlike the last 2 weeks, I was really happy with how our guys played in terms of effort. I thought they fought throughout. I thought we had good energy. Gotten back to where we were, a few weeks ago in terms of those things. And, I just hate that we ended up one play short again.
Coach, is it hard to evaluate a game like that when the conditions are what they are? I think you've seen some positives coming out of that game. And with the kicking game and the few turnovers, although it was a costly one, but it's still, at the same time, is it kind of hard to evaluate a true test of what that game was like?
It is tough. I mean, you just kind of look to make sure, guys are going in the right place. And if a kid slips, you understand that, those kind of things. But, when you see linebackers not reacting to a guard pull, I mean, that's a mistake. I don't care what kind of weather you're in, or when you see a receiver take the wrong angle and not cut off, the edge player like he's supposed to. I mean, that's a mistake. I don't care what the weather is. So, when you're watching, and you see a kid make a mistake, you just got to look at it and say, okay, is this a mental mistake that would have been bad regardless of conditions, or is it a case of, he was trying to do the right thing, just lost his footing, something like that. So, you do have to take some things into consideration.
We're talking to Coach Mike Woodard, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines. Still, the offense a little bit not quite where you think they ought to be at this point, or did you see some strides? And, again, it's kind of hard to tell by last night.
Well, we made some changes to it because, to be honest, I just felt like the kids had lost faith in it. So we went ahead and tweaked things a little bit for this game. But when it comes down to it, we still only scored, one time. So, regardless, we've got to get better at it. I mean, there were some positives. E.J. Robinson had a good game. running the ball for us. Dre DeMoss made a nice throw. We talk about how bad the weather conditions were, but the touchdown we scored was a pass, so, made a good throw there. But, at the end of the day, we've still got strides and improvements that we need to make so that we can stop waking up on Saturday talking about being one play away.
And it also looks like, you're like one or two plays away from maybe having 3 or 4 wins here. Every game you've been in, and does that make it harder to take the loss, or because you've been in every game that you played just about?
I can't speak for everybody, but for me it does. It's frustrating as heck because, like you said, we're 0-6, and that's what people see. And at the end of the day, that's what you are. But if you've been to the games and you've studied them and you've seen how some of these have ended, then you also know that we're easily 3 plays away from being 3-3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were 3-3, it's a completely different outlook, and these are teenagers, so you can try to explain it to them, but at the end of the day, they see 0-6, and the people in the school building are talking to them about being 0-6, and people in the house are talking to them about being 0-6. So it's tough to keep them believing in what we're doing and to understand, how close we are to being a good football team, and to just trust the process and keep working and trying to improve.
Bad thing is, a lot of those people aren't even at the game that concentrate on the losses only. But I know you want to win a game, and I think you're getting close here. But you've got McGavick coming into your place. It's Friday, correct? Or are you playing Thursday?
No, we're playing Thursday.
Okay. So weather looks terrific for that game, so we can eliminate that issue. But what do you expect to see out of your guys? Because I know you want them to rebound from this loss and get ready for McGavick.
I want to see them play with the same effort and the same heart we did last night. Like I said, I felt like we'd gotten away from that the last couple of weeks playing Page and playing Smyrna, and I thought we came out last night with great energy. And great effort, and it starts there. We've got to have that kind of energy, we've got to have that kind of effort, and then we've got to pay attention to detail during the week. It's a short week, so we got 3 days of practice. Obviously we've got areas to improve on, and we need guys to take that seriously and really work on the improvement, and because those are the things we're going to need to do to go out and have a shot to win on Thursday.
McGavick is a team I know that you feel good about playing here, and I know you want a big crowd coming out on that Thursday night because, it's the Thursday night before fall break. Why not? Let's everybody come out there, right?
Exactly. It's it's homecoming also. So, we got homecoming. We're leading up into fall break. Then have the fall festival the next day, which the guys will be able to enjoy since we will play the game on Thursday. So, and like you said, it's supposed to be a great night, so weather-wise. So, definitely come out, watch football, and enjoy the Thursday night, and should be a great environment. And like I said, hopefully our guys are taking care of their business during the week to go out and play well Thursday.
Amen, brother. That's Coach Mike Woodard, the head coach of Laverne Wolverines, and that's going to be homecoming this Thursday night at Laverne. They play McGavick, and get out there. It's a Thursday night. You can go out there and watch the Wolverines play some good football. All right, thank you, Coach. And
thanks, John.
Yeah, man. Thank you. This portion of the show brought to you by Las Casas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. And when we come back, I believe we have Coach Creasy of the Oakland Patriots.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Are you tired of feeling like just another number with your insurance provider? At Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, Agent Rick Hall prides himself on offering personalized service that puts you first. Every client's needs are unique. From personal home and auto coverage to tailored business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, where you're more than just a policy number. You're a neighbor.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza with 4 Murfreesboro locations: Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. Joining me here on the show is Coach Kevin Creasy of the Oakland Patriots. And Coach, miserable night, but not with you guys. You all took care of business, and it was a game. I think there were a lot of bright spots for you that we're going to talk about. But getting through that game and surviving it and winning it has got to be a good feeling coming in this morning.
Yes, and a lot of that game was determined by the coin toss. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you want to see how to play in miserable conditions. We've been there. We've played in those conditions before. And played well last year in the playoffs against Riverdale in the rain, and then turn right back around and in the state championship not play well in a downpour. And it reminded me a lot of this state championship game. And, to our guys' credit, all summer whenever it started raining, we didn't run to the indoor. We stayed outside and practiced in the rain, ruined some footballs. But, that was kind of our I guess our coaching point this summer was we're not going to be a dome team. I don't think we're playing any games in the dome. So if it's not lightning or coming some kind of hailstorm, we're probably going to stay out of the indoor. And we did that. Like I said, ruined some footballs. Some coaches probably got their feelings hurt. But at the end of the day, I think it's a mindset that, we were able to, practice in the rain. And this week we, did the old wet ball drill where we, continue to throw water on the ball. And to our guys' credit, it never hit the ground, and able to throw with it, and able to hang on to it in practice. So it gave us confidence leading up to the game.
And that experience of playing in games before in that kind of conditions obviously has to help. That the experience that you have. I've never seen it swirl, the rain swirl like that, though. The wind was such a big factor in that, and going into your face, and I know the crowd was not good, but it wasn't good anywhere.
I think you make a couple good points. I thought the fans that were there,
yes,
you could really tell they were loyal fans, and I think Rockvale's fans, pretty much outnumbered our fans, to tell you the truth. I thought they did a heck of a job of traveling and coming over, and but the fans that were there, they're the diehard Oakland fans. There was no, none of our broadcast class usually throws up, a clip or two and streams our games, live, and there was none of that. So, if you wanted to watch Oakland, you had to tune in to you guys, or you had to come to the ball game. And like I said, a lot of our guys, got this experience, last year playing in this kind of swirling wind. And I think it was probably 20-mile-an-hour wind to start the game, but then by the end of the game, it was 40 miles an hour. And like I said, real fortunate just to win the coin toss. When you win the coin toss, you're able to defer and able to, kick off. And I think for the first time all year, our kickoff team was able to kick it in the end zone, something we hadn't been able to do. And, by the end of the night, we kicked our first field goal and made it. So that was big, and especially in those conditions. So it was a sloppy game, but there was a lot of positives to come out of it.
The kicking was so good. I thought, they may start getting just a guy to hold the ball, place it, and let the guy kick it from now on. But
yeah, we had to hold it on the tee because the wind kept blowing it over, and that's one thing that we hadn't practiced.
Got off to a 23-0 lead in the first quarter, and I thought, and I'm trying to read your mind here, but I'm thinking try to score early, often, get the lead, and then let the weather do whatever it needs to do.
Yeah, I said over the headset, I feel for Rockvale here because I was in that same shape last week. They kept going backwards on their first drive with, some penalties and botch snaps and stuff like that, and they're having to punt out of their, end zone. That's exactly what happened to us at Blackman. And we shanked a punt that went 20 yards last week, and I think their punt went 11 because the wind kept blowing it backwards. And so we kept having good field position. Like I said, a lot of it had to do with winning the coin toss and just those conditions, played right into our defense's hands. And like I said, they gave us great field position. We ended up blocking a punt that gave us great field position. And then the big key on offense was, we wanted to throw it on first down. That's why the ball's dry on first down. So
good point.
Let's just throw it on first down, and I think we did a good job with that.
Let's talk about some players because I know you're glad to have Dwan Morris back. He was very instrumental in that first quarter and the first half. A 3-yard run. He also had a 71-yard catch and then another run for a touchdown. So he scored 3 touchdowns in that first quarter. Always good to get him back. I know maybe not quite at full speed, but close enough.
Yeah, DeJuan did score 3 touchdowns. If you look at the first touchdown, I thought Rockvale played the play as good as they could. They had a linebacker come scotch-free, and, DeJuan makes him miss and scores a touchdown. The very next time we throw a pass, it should have been a 10-yard completion. Next thing you know, he makes a couple moves, and it's a 70-yard touchdown. Third time, Rockvale has a safety right down in the box. It's free, and DeJuan makes another move, and that's makes coaches look smart, but at the same time, he's making something out of nothing all three times, and so that's a credit to him, a credit to us for getting the right guy the ball. But it just shows you how much we've missed that guy over the last 5 weeks. So he's a playmaker and shows up big in big games.
And one last thing about DeJuan, I love the way he watches the blocking, and he waits for that hole, or he creates it. If it doesn't come, he can change directions so quickly. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's a patient runner, but then he's really quick when he sticks his foot in the ground, and that's why it's been so hard getting him back is because he puts a lot of pressure on that ankle that's hurt because he cuts so hard. And, last night, he had to cut on a dime a few times. And, in those conditions, it's advantage offense because he knows which way he's cutting and the other guys don't.
Kyler had a good game, a really, really good game. I think he had 180 yards or more passing. The pass to Tut is the one I want to – that was – a lot of people will go, well, Tut made a great run, but that pass was precision at its best in terms of pinpoint accuracy and getting it there before they lunged for it and they tried to get it, but it was there.
Yeah, I thought he put it right on the money, and they have a really good DB in number 6 who kind of sloughed off the post and came down. And I thought it looked like one of their linebackers, maybe number 1, kind of played it perfect and kind of ran with it. And it was just a small window, and Kyler put it in there. And, again, should have been a 20-yard completion, and then Tutt ends up making a move, and it turns into a 70-yard touchdown. So, at the end of the day, there's a couple players out there making big-time plays, but, Kyler did put it right on the money. I thought our offensive line did a heck of a job of protecting him, and so that's what goes into big plays.
The offensive line did do a good job last night. A couple more. We're talking to Kevin Creasy, head coach of Oakland. I want to talk about Avery's run. That was sweet.
Yeah.
Broke that line of scrimmage and went.
Yeah, that's kind of what we said. We're going to get in 2 tight ends and just kind of, run the clock and, possess the ball. And, that first drive, we're going to try to take a lot of time off the clock. Avery blocked pretty good the first play, and we gained 4 or 5 yards. And then the next play, we just run up the middle and shoot. He breaks a 60-yard run for a touchdown. And so we were happy for him, but, we were like, well, I guess everyone the eat the clock thing. And so the rest of the night.
I did say that, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the night we did stay in that same formation and get a lot of different other running backs in, other quarterbacks in, stuff like that. But, Avery is an unselfish guy who's, called on to block a lot, and the next thing you know, if you do give him the ball, he can make, something happen with it.
Got a lot more speed than I thought. I mean,
he's got a burst to him. He does have a burst.
One more guy I want to mention, Brian Smotherman. When you were trying to run the clock out and get everybody off the field, because I think about that time everybody wanted to get off the field.
Yeah.
Brian Smotherman made a couple of nice runs and had a touchdown run, and he's kind of an unsung guy that we don't talk about very much.
Right, yeah. Brian works hard, works as hard as anybody, and doesn't get his number called that much. And, we've had a few JV games, but we had a few that, we weren't able to play and got canceled. So, he made the most of his opportunities. Will Millsaps had a heck of a game. I thought Matthew Moore had a heck of a game. So when those guys get out there, they want to, show what they got, and they did a really good job for us.
You guys looked really focused last night. It seemed like you got your game plan was let's get it done, and let's cut the turnovers down, and just you really looked. It was sharper last night, I thought.
Yeah, I thought our guys came out focused, and we tried eliminating dumb penalties, and we tried making sure we didn't turn the ball over, and then like I said, we tried to clean some stuff up, did a little less and focused a little more on what we're supposed to be doing. And, I thought that helped us on both sides of the ball.
And not having as many penalties in a game like that, you can't afford penalties in a game like that.
That's right. We learned a lot of valuable lessons from the week before and, carried them over to this week.
All right. Well, it's Siegel next week. Now, that's Thursday, right?
Yes, playing on Thursday at our place. I think it's senior night. We've had to move senior night a couple different times. And getting to recognize our seniors. Usually it's about 30 of them. This year's class is about 15 of them. But they've all been together for a long time and want to make sure that we recognize them and their parents. And so come on out Thursday and help support these guys.
82 degrees at game time, sunny skies. Just want to tell you.
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I've already looked at the forecast for you.
I believe a weatherman about like I do some other guys around here.
I got you, Coach. Coach, good luck next week and a big win last night. Congratulations.
Right. Appreciate it.
That's Coach Kevin Creasy, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. We've got more to come here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. This portion is brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. Stewart's Creek football next.
Here's your Little Caesar slices and sticks, half Italian cheese sticks, half pepperoni pizza. It's the world's greatest combination.
Carl? How could you? Sorry, PB&J. I wanted to try new things. No.
Have some for yourself.
Yes.
No! Get hot and ready slices and sticks for $6.99. Walk in and walk out between 4 and 8 p.m.
Little Caesars Pizza is a proud supporter of all Rutherford County High School athletes. Be sure to visit your Murfreesboro Little Caesars today.
Pizza, pizza.
You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
Fast response if the power goes out.
An app that keeps me informed. Tips to lower my monthly bill.
Communication on things that matter to me.
Done, 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 done.
I want to know everything.
Everything? Well, young lady, let me show you the MyMTE app. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go Blue!
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more at craigstaxservice.com. John Dinkins back here with you, pulling the long shift today here at the Prentice Allsup Heating Air Coaches Corner, and wearing his lucky camouflage cap for the fourth Saturday in a row. I'm not sure. And it's going to stay that way as long as you keep winning, right, Coach? Ben Caudell, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks.
Good to be with you.
And big win. I thought an impressive win last night. And number one, you had to face the elements. Number two, a very, very good Antioch team. And this was one of the games I know that you probably kind of set off in your mind. We need to get this one, and you did it.
Yeah, it was a huge win for our program. Like you said, very, very talented Antioch team. You know, they not only do they have really good players, you know, they got really smart players. They got a big two-way lineman, about 6'6", who's going to Purdue. Their quarterback's been offered by Vanderbilt. They had kid, come in from Father Ryan, and you kind of felt like, this is supposed to be Antioch's year, and with all the elements and all that stuff, we had to go over there and do it, on a grass field, and certainly wasn't on turf, certainly, wasn't anything like a rain game would be at our place or any other place with turf. And so the mentality that our team had all week was very encouraging for me and our coaching staff, and just couldn't be any more proud of our team.
You go into a game, and it's a grass field. It's rained and rained and rained. I know it was dry before the hurricane came in, but 4 inches of rain at least. You ran. It seemed as if you took the initiative. We're going to run the football. This is what we're going to do. Like the old smash mouth, old time Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bear kind of style of running, and it looked like that's what you did.
Yeah, I think you go into these games and we kind of try figure out what's going to work,
Mm-hmm.
Because Antioch, they got 2 defensive linemen that combined for about 650 pounds, and just a very big, fast, physical defense. So we were able to, go and it starts with putting ourselves in great, field position. Honestly, we felt all week that special teams was something that we could dominate, and that's the word that we used, and that's what we did in that phase. And so we were in some really good situations. Was really proud of our offensive execution. This was, I felt like it was a mentality game. I felt like, and I told our kids this game is going to be decided before it starts. And we got off the bus and really our mindset the whole week. We had a team cancel a JV game on us Monday, and there was a lot of lightning, coming in Tuesday. So we ended up practicing before school Tuesday and felt like we kind of, stole a practice. And so anyways, you don't just put it together on a Friday night. I thought our kids really, executed every day this week. And, that led to, a lot of success last night.
Ben, when you look at the stats, you're going to go, wow, there's not a whole lot to that, but there is, because Caleb Floyd rushed for 145 yards, 35 carries. He was a workhorse. But, boy, credit that offensive line, because, the other team also knows the weather conditions, and they know, well, passing may not be, the main thing. You made your team with the offensive line. They didn't have to have the pass. Is that kind of what you saw last night?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that go into, executing in that type of game. I've played quarterback, and let me just tell you, a ball is either wet or dry. You can do all you want, to keep a ball dry, but it is either dry or it's not. And so we had a lot of things, honestly, in the run and the pass that we hadn't shown yet, and we threw a few of those out there last night, and weren't able to show some of the stuff in the pass game, honestly, just because we didn't need to. With the way, you bring up our strategy on offense. Well, let me just tell you, our defense, allowed us to, shorten this game. And, I wasn't going to take any chances, on offense with the way that our defense was playing. Goodness gracious, other than, really 2 plays there at the end of the second quarter, our defense played lights out, dominated the line of scrimmage, and had, I believe it was 5 turnovers. And so, our defense was a huge reason in the way that we executed the way that we did on offense. You're not going to do anything in that type of weather, you don't have to prove how smart you are on offense at times when your defense is playing the way that it is. So very proud of our defensive staff. It seems like every layer of our defense, had a turnover last night. Bryson Hayes, landed on a fumble in the end zone. Marcel Gordon with a strip sack on that play. Marcel also had an interception and a fumble recovery. And then cornerback Cannell St. Soir had a scoop and score as well defensively. And so, so proud of those guys, proud of our staff and the job that they did against a really talented Antioch offense last night.
They're the unsung heroes of Stewart's Creek, the defense, really, because you take away the Blackman game where there were 2 blocked punts in that game. They've been pretty much lights out. And very easily could have won that game. But it just seems like, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe not a swagger. That's not a good word, but a more confident Stewart's Creek team than I've seen in the past.
Well, it's hard to compare teams, because it's like comparing your children. You love them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say this is a very unselfish team. It is a team that does not care who gets the credit, and that leads to unselfish play. It leads to just a product on the field that we can all be proud of. So I'm very proud of our defense. I'm very proud of what they've done in every game this season. In the Blackman game, I said after that game it was the most talented Blackman team since 2014. and I think people are maybe starting to come around to think that I was right on that, you know. And you know, we had a horrible third quarter that game, and really outside that quarter, you know, I'm tremendously pleased with our effort on that side of the ball, and that's something regardless of the conditions. You know, you know, your defense, you know, you don't have to adjust as many things, you know, in the wet weather on that side of the ball. You can just kind of go out and play. And so just tremendously proud of all of our guys on that side of the ball.
There was a huge win, and it's setting up. Of course, you got to take one game at a time, but it's setting up for a real big finish in the region. You've got a couple of big games left, and I know let's talk about West Creek. I don't know that much about them, but you travel there. You're on the road again this Thursday as well.
So we, you know, West Creek is actually playing tonight. They moved their game. There were, you know, a handful of games that were moved to Saturday, and so they reached out, I think it was Thursday, to let us know about that. And you know, they've got a new coach, and kind of one of the second newest school, I believe, in Montgomery County. Kirkwood is the newest, and so you know, we're going to host them on Thursday night. So it's, you know, it feels like it's been forever since, you know, we've been at home. It's going to be our homecoming.
Oh, it's a home game. Okay, the schedule's wrong here. Okay.
So we've had 3 straight road games, and I'm really proud of the organization and all of the things that our staff and players and the mentality we've had to have, you know, on the road. We only have 2 games this year on grass, and those are behind us now as well. And so I'm really proud of, you know, what we've done these past 3 weeks on the road. And it really makes coming home all that much more sweeter. You know, last night, obviously, with the elements, we couldn't bring our band. I can't wait to be back with our band, be back at home. Obviously, it's going to be homecoming. You know, pretty much everybody else this morning's already spoke to the challenges that can present, you know, that can present to your team with the structure of homecoming. But we're going to be at home, and I'm really excited to be back in front of all of our community. And I'll just say this, you know, John, the last 2 weeks on the road, it's really felt like a home game. You know, the Stewart's Creek community, we have far outnumbered, you know, the home team in regards to fans and support. And
you did last night too.
Oh, no question, no question. And you know, the strength of our school and community and our support, it's just so deep. And it's you know, our team feeds off that, and so it's going to be great to be back at home. West Creek's got a really athletic quarterback. They had several players last year that caused some issues for us. So we got a short week ahead of us, and it's one we're going to have to stay focused on.
Focus is the key word. With homecoming, focus is always the key word. Stay that way. We're talking to Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks, and a little off the cuff here question, I guess you might say, when it comes to the Redhawks. This is one of the better seasons, and I don't want to curse it or anything else, but you do have to kind of keep their heads, you know, this is not over. We got a lot of games, one game at a time. But I know you've got a lot of people, and those coaches you have done a really tremendous job in helping steer Stewart's Creek in this direction that they're going in currently.
I can't say enough about our staff. You know, we always add, you know, to our staff each offseason. And, you know, we've had, ever since I've been at Stewart's Creek, we've had a tremendous staff. We've had some guys leave and go off to some of the best programs in the state, you know, to be coordinators or go to Brentwood Academy or CPA or, you know, wherever it might be. And so we, you know, the good Lord's always brought us the right people, and it starts with you know, hiring high character and having the right school person. And, you know, this past off season, we went out and added Brian Waite, who's been a head coach much longer than me in Metro. He has made an immediate impact on our team. Hired a young guy in Enoch Williams, who I've known for years and years and years. You know, so just having those guys that can mentor our players, that can love them, that understand the balance that these kids need nowadays, you know, in regards to tough love and also, you know, discipline, maintaining a disciplined program. We have a tremendous staff, and, you know, that's how everybody is in our school. We have an unbelievable staff, and I can't say enough about our coaches and the job they've done this year. And, you know, to speak to what you said, we said it last night, guys, this isn't the finish line. this has got to be something that, really, spearheads the rest of our season. Nobody said this is where we want to be after 6 games. That's not what anybody talks about before the season. And so, I believe in our leadership. I believe that, we understand that last night was chapter 6, and there's several more, chapters ahead of us. And so last night was a big step, though. It was a big step on the road against, what many would have considered the region favorite, and we went and did what we said we were going to do, and very proud of our team for that.
Well, Ben, good luck next week. Have a great homecoming, by the way. That's always an exciting time, and the kids deserve it. I mean, they deserve it, and the football players deserve that as well. So
no question. Can't wait to be back at home in front of our home fans. Going to be very exciting, and I want to give a shout-out to our administration as well for last night. Our AD, showed up, like he was stepping out of the Louisiana Tech student section in college. He had a short sleeve, cotton shirt and shorts on. Todd Harris, he was full Cajun mode last night, and Dr. Harrell out there leading the students. It was awesome, and like I said, it felt like a home game, and that's something we take pride in at Stewart's Creek. Our support, the strength of our community. It's exciting, and very proud of our effort last night, and like I said, we'll stay focused this week, and excited for the opportunity to be back at home.
All right, that's Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks. Winners last night, 27-6 over Antioch. And when we come, by the way, 83 degrees next Thursday. Just want to let you know, and clear, sunny. Coming up, we're going to talk to Rockvale coach Brian Guthrie as we continue here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. This portion of the show brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com.
Pizza. Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're talking with Anne-Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue, carrying on the Lanning family tradition.
I'm passionate about it, and I have a lot of my dad in me, so I know that I have the same energy and mindset that he does.
It's the best barbecue you'll eat. The smoked chicken out of this world and those loaded baked potatoes.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds. People ask us that all the time. They're like, where do y'all get those potatoes from?
A quick meal feeding the whole family or catering, they can do it all at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
It's not just your home or car. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams. We see your home and car as the time and memories that you put into it. Give me a call at 615-459-2683 and let me help you give them the protection they deserve.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Wommel. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And this portion of the Coach's Show is brought to you by J. Mullins Jewelry, a family-owned and operated business treating clients like family since 1938. Jewelry design, repair, and a wide selection of great jewelry pieces online at mullinsjewelry.com. wgnsradio.com. And joining me here is Brian Guthrie, the head coach of the Rockvale Rockets. And, Coach, I don't know if I've ever been more miserable with weather than I was last night. And I know it had to affect both teams and teams everywhere, but I've never seen swirling rain like that.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah.
It was ugly for sure. We knew it was coming, and I don't know my directions as well, but we knew it was coming from, it was at the beginning of the game, it was coming from the school towards DeJarnett, and knew that was going to be important, and we lost that first battle, the coin toss.
Yes, yeah.
And so we were kind of, in a bind. It was not good. Of course, that first series we didn't do anything to help ourselves. We had 3 penalties on the first series. And matter of fact, we ended up the game with only 3 penalties, and they were all on that first drive. So, but we got backed up, and then we tried to punt out the end zone, and it kind of punted back at us. We kind of punted it back at us. So we ended up on that end at the beginning of the game a lot. But
it had destroyed field position for you. I mean, in terms of it just really it was kind of an odd, and that punt that tipped and rolled back to you, I don't think I've seen that before either. But despite the adversity early and the quick score, you came back in the next, I believe it was the next series, wasn't it? Where you moved the ball pretty well.
Yeah, the next series we drove the ball down the field. We threw and caught well. We were clicking. Looked like what we were supposed to look like the whole time, and then we got down to the 28. No, we got down to the 30-yard line on our end, and had to get to the 28 on 4th and 2, and ran an outside zone. And our little sophomore tailback, who I think is going to be a great player, Romeo George, gets tackled and is obviously at the 27. And they marked him short, and we had to turn the ball over. But I mean, you watch it on film, we obviously had the first down, but
that really changes things too. He makes that first down.
Yeah.
That really changes that whole complexion of that quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we're driving the ball. Our kids have got confidence. We're doing things the right way, and not getting penalties, and in a bad spot takes all that away. And it is what it is. It's out of our control. We've got to overcome it. But golly, man, I'd like to have seen, how things would have happened if we'd, scored on that second drive. And
They hurt you with some big plays too, Brian. And a lot of them were late in the game, so I'm not really focusing on that. But they had a big play to Morris, and he was back for his second game. It made a good catch. He made some great moves. Thought you guys had him, and then he was able to cut left or cut right and pick up a couple of big first downs. I think really when we look at this game, you take those penalties away early and you take that first down. When you had that first down, I just really feel like you guys, and I think that did that hurt your confidence, their confidence when they did make that, and kind of the next they scored quickly after that.
Well, sure. I mean, they're kids, and you try to teach them to go forget about it and go to the next play and have short memory and all that. But at the end of the day, all that's going to affect them, but they kept playing, and we kept coaching, and it just ended up the way it was. Morris is a good player. They got a good football team.
It's hard. You can't make errors. I mean, that with them. I mean, you've just got to play really well, and the weather conditions don't necessarily, help in that situation at all. But I wanted to talk to you when you went in at halftime. I'm not going to worry about the score. What'd you tell your guys at half? Because I know you, and I just kind of want to get your mindset there. And what did you tell them?
Well, we just told them to keep playing hard. You know, we had a half to play, and just to keep playing hard and play with class. There was some chippiness going on, and you know, I felt like there were, you know, I just didn't want our kids to get caught up in a bunch of mess, and so I said, you know, play with class, and I said, turn around, walk away, put your hands up, whatever you need to do, and you know, but let's finish the game. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's a 4-quarter game, and we got to play all 4 quarters, and you know, let's go out and do what we're supposed to do, and see what happens. So.
Elliott, I thought played pretty well. I know there were some drop passes that he had that he threw, and I know he had an interception there. But I really can't fault a kid, because when you're down and they know you're going to probably try to pass the ball as much as you possibly can in that. I thought he held his head high and showed a lot of poise.
Yeah, you know, he played pretty well. There were some open receivers that we felt like he missed, and you know, that, you know, could have made a difference. But overall, I thought he played well. You know, he moved around well. I think there was a couple of times he might have gotten out of the pocket early when he didn't need to, but you know, that's part of his game, is moving and running and being you know, being able to avoid pressure. So yeah, I thought he played pretty well. You know, at the end of the day, you know, throwing the football around is going to have to be part of our game, and in those weather conditions, it just made it tough.
Yeah. I guess now let's put this on the back burner, you know, and as Rod Edwards told me, you got to let it go and keep moving on. I said, well, that's from Frozen. Yeah, that's right, Rod. But if you let it go and move on to the next battle, because it's a pretty good Coffee County team that's going to come into your place Thursday.
Yeah, it is. They're much improved than they were, and Roger's done a great job down there, and they've got some big old country-fed, strong kids, and you know, we're going to have to play well. It's going to be a physical football game. It always is with them. You know, we've just got to get our ship righted and head in the right direction so that we can you know, win some games here at the end and make the playoffs.
I think you're kind of focused on worrying about Rockvale, getting them all straightened out, and then the wins will come, the good play will come, the better play, and not so much about Coffee County, although I know you're worried about them, but you want your guys focused on what they do.
Yeah, I mean, we try to do that every week, you know, just get better at us, and you know, here are the things that we've got to do to beat this team, but we've got to be better at us. And I don't feel like I've done a very good job of getting that done each week, but you know, we're going to try again this week and see what we can get done. And we're going to come in on Sunday, and because we have to play on Thursday, so we're going to bring them in on Sunday and practice and get that practice that we'd miss, and you know, try to get refocused and understand that we still have everything we want right in front of us. There's nothing that says that we're done. We have every ability to make the playoffs and do what we need to do.
I think that's the goal, to look at it that way, because you definitely have that. You have that option to get there if you take advantage of it. Brian Guthrie is our guest here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner. I wanted to tell you that Thursday night's game, Coach, is 83 degrees and sunny. So that's already in your favor.
Fantastic.
I wanted to talk to you. We were talking before the game, and we were going to the concession stands, and we saw you, but you were kind of far enough away that we didn't want to just yell at you. But I mean, I was sitting there going, I am already miserable. And I said, I can't imagine sitting there in like 2.5, 3 hours of that. But, you know, I guess if you look at the old days, we used to do that. I mean, it's just not anything different.
Yeah, and, you know, I really thought it was going to rain harder than toward the end of the game. But, you know, it never did really just rain hard, but it rained consistently and sideways. And
the sideways was the hard part, I think. The wind was the worst part of it.
Yeah. so we had, we had all these plans. We brought a whole bunch of tents and we had tons of towels, and we brought an extra set of uniforms to change out at halftime, and we ended up not doing that because the kids didn't want to. They just wanted to stay in what they had on, so we stayed in them. But we had a lot of things that we tried to do to try to help the situation, and it just it is what it is.
Coach, good luck to you against Coffee County. That's a big home game. I know you'll have a great crowd. And by the way, I want to thank your crowd for coming. They came out in just really adverse conditions, so you got a good crowd there.
Yeah, Rockvale people are really, really good people. We're really blessed.
All right, that's Brian Guthrie, the head coach of the Rockvale Rockets. This portion of the show brought to you by Bowen's Body Shop. From dings and dents to full body work, trust Jeff and Kyle Bowen to do the job right. They're located on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. When we come back, I think we're talking Seagull football as we continue here on the Coaches Show.
For 150 years, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee has been dedicated to the students and families in the communities we serve. Hi, I'm Ryan Savage, Assistant Vice President. We understand the challenges of managing your family's finances. At First National Bank, your family is our family. Visit us at our Gateway or Memorial Boulevard offices here in Riversboro and always online at fnbmt.com.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizza.tn.com. And we welcome in this morning Seagull head coach Adam Renshaw. How you doing this morning, Coach?
Oh, I'm great. Good morning.
Well, the Stars had a good fought effort last night, but fell a little short to Blackman 28-7. And talk about a little bit about your guys' performance last night.
Yeah, well, I thought we played with a lot of courage, a lot of grit. Just made too many mistakes. 3 turnovers. A snap over the head and in the plate game, and those mistakes are amplified in the weather last night. And so, yeah, it was kind of tough because I felt like our kids played really hard. I thought we played physical. We just made too many mistakes to win.
Well, that's getting ready for the week. You knew you were going to have some weather. Did y'all do anything this week to try to prepare for that?
Well, we do what we always do. We just try to always go out in it, and we snap wet balls. We we try not to shy away from it. And, again, it's not the weather. It's making the mistakes. We talk a lot about the weather amplifies fundamentals. So, in other words, when it's raining, you got to hang on to that snap. You got to look at snap in a little longer. You got to get 2 arms. You just got to amplify the fundamentals. And we didn't do that last night. We just need to play better fundamental football.
And it's going up against a really good Blackman team, but the game was pretty close throughout, and you had chances to score and stay in the game last night.
Yeah, we were driving there at one point, opportunity to put some points on the board, and we turned the ball over there, and that was tough. And man, the wind was coming out of the south end zone last night, so there was a distinct advantage in going north, I guess you would say, and you had to pick and choose your shots, and man, we did. In the third quarter there, we threw a go ball to Drew Hosteller. He made a fantastic catch on a big score for us. Tremendous play. It's 2 weeks in a row he's made amazing catches for us.
Yeah, that's big time and stepping up. And I was going to ask you about Drew and last night, and so. Talking to the other coaches this morning, too, the wind did play a huge factor in what you could and you couldn't do, especially in the passing game.
Yeah, no doubt. And, again, another example of, the fundamentals are amplified. Your fingers have to be touching. You have to look the ball in. If you're going to throw and catch in that kind of weather, it amplifies the fundamentals.
Yeah, and, obviously you're getting a little past the halfway point of the season this year, and Where do you think what is your strong point of your team right now? You think it's on the defensive side?
Well, our defense played really well last night. I guess I'd put it this way. We're a team that's just kind of figuring out our personality a little bit. I think we're getting better every week. Sometimes the score don't show those improvements, but I think our team's kind of coming together. I think early in the year, it was, the offense has these issues or the defense has these. Well, no, this is high school football. They're all the same kids. And, just coming together, growing as a team, growing as a program, and trying to hang in there together. I think that's the most important part of us finishing successfully.
Absolutely. And, you still got everything really in front of you. You still got possibility of getting to the playoffs. You still got a Rockvale game in the region still to play. You still got, I know you got Oakland this week, but I mean, there's still a lot to play for Siegel this year.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we got great kids. I do believe they like one another, like being around one another. Sometimes it's hard when you're taking a lump on the scoreboard to realize that I just need to play better football. This isn't a comment on me as a human being. I just need to play better football.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think this week you're playing on Thursday, which because I know you got fall break coming up on Friday. Does that change anything you're going to do preparation-wise or, trying to make sure the kids are focused for that game heading into fall break?
Well, a shorter week, we'll do, of course, the coaching staff will work harder on the weekend, get some things ready. But, it's a big game. Oakland is just 3 miles down the road from us. Awesome program. Coach Creasy does an awesome job, has for quite a while over there. And so they're kind of the standard in our community for football, and so we need to try and live up to that standard.
Yeah, it's exciting. That game is always it's a big rivalry. I remember when Siegel was opened, and a lot of the kids came from Oakland, and that will be another packed house. And I know Siegel Nation will be ready to go Thursday night.
Oh yeah, hopefully of course we're going over there. It should be an exciting atmosphere.
So you really at this point in the season, you've really talked about your defense stepping up. Where do you feel like you are right now on your offense, and you think you're going to be able to take some strides going forward?
Yeah, well, I think our offensive line has played well up to this point and gotten better. We played a tough Blackman defensive front last night with the weather and elements, everybody packed in there. I felt like it's kind of a slugfest, but I think our offensive line played really well with a lot of guys in the box last night. And so I think they've improved. Our receivers have gotten better every week. We've shuffled some guys around, and we feel like we've kind of got the right personnel grouping now, and our quarterbacks have gotten better every week. So, it's again, football's a sport of constant, consistent improvement, and we just need to make the plays to win the football game on Friday nights.
Exactly, and I was talking to some other coaches this morning about winning plays and learning how to win. That's a hard thing to do. You can be right there and just a penalty here, a penalty there, whatever. And I think as teams get more mature, you start learning how to not make those penalties and make the play that's going to get you over the top.
Yeah, well, and I think that's kind of where we are. We have a lot of juniors in skill positions that are learning, the impact of the plays they make or don't make. And, we see a little bit more every week. And at some point, we feel like that light's going to come on and special things are going to happen for us. We tell them we're on a collision course with success. The only variable is time. When's this going to happen?
Yeah, but it's going to happen, and you can see the improvement from your team from the beginning of the year to now, and I know we're going to see more going forward. Coming into these last 4 weeks of the season, what do you specifically want your team to improve upon? That you're looking for in the last 4 weeks.
Well, turnovers are like a copperhead in the bedclothes. They'll get you if you ain't careful, and so we hope to. We got to eliminate turnovers from Friday night. And, it seems like every week we're finding something that we need to improve upon and get a little better. And the real truth is it's not a magic bullet. It's complete the fundamental drills we do in practice every day, do them extremely well. So don't get bored with the details. Believe in what you're doing, and just have that great competitive spirit and fight that I do believe we see out of our kids on Friday night. And we drill. And I guess the saying is if you don't want to drill, you don't want to be a football player, because those competitive drills we do in practice are what make our team.
Absolutely. And one thing that I've noticed is you have a really good staff, and I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about them, but I know that one thing I've seen is you have a really good group of guys around you that really care about Seagull football and getting them better every week.
Yeah, they care about these kids. I have, Coach Todd Rowland up there meeting with running backs every Saturday morning while I'm right here doing this radio show and working on our fields and doing all those things it's not a glamorous lifestyle. People think coaching's a cool, but it's not a glamorous lifestyle. Coach Brian Watson has worked his tail off for us this year, coaching at different levels, and just done a tremendous job for our program. Coach Kyle Turnbow is, he's a great human being, great dad, great husband, and an awesome football coach. And our defensive coordinator, Eric Smith, man, he works so hard and puts so much of his heart and soul into the defense and his kids. I got more great coaches. I can stand here, I take up the whole time talking about them. But, I'm lucky. I get to I put it this way. We had Coach Rick Mallory join our staff this year, who's coached at MTSU, coached college ball 30 years, played in the NFL, and it just seems like I get a nugget of wisdom from him every week, and I'm amazed by our coaching staff and how they try to work with these kids and pour into these kids.
Well, that's awesome, and we know you have really great support from your administration with Mr. Carisi over there and Greg Wyant and the rest of your administrative staff over there, and we just see. I know there's going to be a lot of good days coming for the Seagull football team.
Yeah, no, we got great people, and I tell you, Seagull High School is a great place to be, and you walk around the halls of our school and be around our teachers, be around our administration. One thing I don't talk about enough is our coaches of all sports get along really well at Seagull High School. I've never been in a place where the coaches help and support one another like we do at Seagull. So, Seagull High School is a great place.
It's a special community, a special place. And, Coach, we're looking forward to seeing you next week. I think WGNS will be there Thursday night when you take on Oakland, and good luck.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it very much.
All right. That was Coach Adam Renshaw and the Seagull Stars. And the Coaches Show is brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car, professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com.
Genesee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Here's Dr. Russell McKissick with TOA.
We have a passion here for taking care of our athletes here in Rutherford County. We really do our best to take care of them.
Experts in joint, bones, and muscles.
Many years we've been taking care of athletes around here, and we've just picked up where Dr. John started, and we just keep going.
TOA has a playbook that gets you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. TOA, live your best life.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Bowen's Body Shop. From dings and dents to full body work, trust Jeff and Kyle Bowen to do the job right. They're located on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. And now welcome in Eagle head coach Floyd Walker. Good morning, Coach.
Morning, Bill. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. How are you this morning?
Hey, I'm good and dry right now. So life's pretty good this morning.
That's right. The weather was a big part of the games last night. Eagle had a tough, hard-fought 14-7 loss last night to a good Wade County team. But I'm sure you had a lot of really good performances from some of your players.
We did. I mean, it was a good night. football-wise. Anytime you get an opportunity to play, it's always a good night. And I think our kids enjoyed the conditions. I don't think it affected, their attitude or anything whatsoever. But we ran into a well-coached, well-disciplined Wayne County football team. It didn't go our way, but I wasn't discouraged by our effort, our attitude, or the approach that we took going into the ball game.
Wayne County's always been a program
Right.
that's been one of the top programs in the state in that classification, and giving them the best, the game like you did last night, that's got to really encourage you going forward as you go on.
Well, it does. I mean, but the thing about it is we play well enough to win. We make some mistakes at critical times, and those are some things that we've got to correct. We talked about that at the end of the ball game. It wasn't like we got outplayed. It wasn't like we got out physical. We made some mistakes and they didn't make any, and that basically was the outcome of the ball game.
Well, you had some good performances last night. Caleb's Snitzer last night, 20 carries, 129 yards, and a touchdown, and also had 5 tackles on defense. And Marshall Spann, 11 tackles. And I know you've got a lot of kids, too, that also play two ways.
Right.
And that's how do you balance that, and, as you get forward and going on towards the end of the season?
It's just one of those deals. First of all, Caleb and Marshall has done a super job for us all year long. And so the way those two kids have played this year and the effort that they've given on every single snap has just been truly, truly outstanding to watch. As far as what we do, as far as, kids playing both ways, that's just life in 1A. It's one of those deals to where you're very limited, number-wise, as far as total players go. You're very limited about athletic ability based off position and what you run offensively and defensively. And kids know that they have to play both ways when they become part of our program. And a lot of it is conditioning and the way that they go about their daily grind as far as how they lift weights, how they eat, how they sleep, how they rest and recover. So our kids have done a super job of doing that over the years that I've been there, and it's really not been that big of a deal for us. And it's one of those deals where kids, they want to play.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't want to be standing on the sideline, and if they can play offense, defense, and special team, they want to be in the ball game, and that's been the real joy of our program.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's the beauty of, a lot of 1A schools. You want to be out there and play. A lot of these 6A schools, they kids can't, they got to specialize offense, defense, something like that. And your kids are getting to do everything. I mean, I would feel like that's a football player's dream.
It is. And it's one of those things, too. It's a great life lesson because, you just don't get to do one thing, You got to be able to multitask in different situations in your lifetime, and our kids learn those valuable lessons.
Well, Eagles now 3-3 on the season, Coach. We're getting ready for the drive to the playoffs, and where do you assess your team right now as we get towards the second half of the season?
I mean, we're good enough to be in the playoffs, and we've gotten ourselves backed into a corner, I do believe. I mean, we're sitting at 2-2 right now. We haven't really thought about playoffs. All we're trying to do is just be. It's a cliche deal. We're trying to be the best version of ourselves and who we are, and if you sit here off the top of my head, I would have to say that we can't afford to stump our toe. I mean, We've got let me see, we got Cornersville and Richland left.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe those are the last two region games. I think we can't afford to lose either one of those. So if we want an invitation to the playoff.
And that's what you want at the end of the season, having games that mean something, and having everything, and you can control your own destiny. And, we always know Eagles going to have a huge crowd behind them, and I'm sure that's the same it was last night.
Right. I thought, even with the weather, I thought we had it wasn't a normal Friday night in Eagleville because of the weather, but I thought the parents still showed up. I thought our student body still showed up. Our administrators did. So, it wasn't like the stadium was empty. I thought Wayne County had a decent crowd to travel with them, but it was a good night for high school football at a 1A town. So we were pleased with the crowd. I really don't know, who all was there and how many was there and what the numbers were, but it still had that big crowd atmosphere to the ball game.
Yes, and obviously last night, holding Wayne County 14 points. Obviously, your defense had to be doing some great things last night. Where do you assess your defense right now? As we're 3 weeks 6 going to week 7.
Defense has been the strong suit of our program since day one. We've always emphasized defense. We're always going to emphasize defense. And it's one of those deals where our kids take a lot of pride in trying to keep opponents off the scoreboard. We may give up a lot of yards, but we don't give up a whole lot of points, which gives you an opportunity to win ball games. And if we can continue to do that, and I'm sure that we will, we'll have an opportunity to win these last couple of games. We just got to clean up some things offensively, eliminate some mistakes offensively, and eliminate some penalties at critical times.
Exactly. One thing your teams have always been, they've always been pretty disciplined and really, really well coached. And we're seeing that again this year with your group. We'll talk a little bit about going back to the offensive side a little bit. What are you pleased with so far, and what do you think you need to try and improve on as we go on these last 4 games?
I'm tickled to death with the way the offensive line has played this year. I mean, those kids have battled. They've competed at a high level. They've become more knowledgeable on what they're doing from schematic standpoint. So that's been the biggest thrill watching those guys develop as this season's come along. And I'll go back to Caleb Snitzer. I can't tell you how super proud I am of the way that kid's performed this year offensively. And now you see the emergence of Thomas Solomon starting to get a little bit more involved in the running game, and Jonathan Jordan getting a little bit more involved in the running game. And then you get the freshman quarterback in there with Ben Fox starting to do a little bit more. So it's starting to have a lot more different pieces to it, which now gives you a little bit more variety, and it becomes a little bit more difficult to defend. So I like the way that it's trending. There's some things we still got to clean up. We drove the ball last night, but again, we either had a missed assignment or we had a penalty, and it cost us. And we just can't play behind the chains. As any good football team can't play behind the chains time after time after time, and we just got to clean that up.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking, and pretty much in every sport, learning how to win these close games it's a hard thing to do. And I think once kids get that taste of it, they want to do that every single time. They're going to do what it takes. And I think y'all are at that point where you're just needing one little breakthrough and win a close game, and that snowball will start for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals where our kids really enjoy each other, and they really enjoy playing with each other. And it's one of those deals to where their attitude and their competitive spirit hasn't wavered. The goal is always to win every Friday night, especially when we play in Eagleville at our stadium. And that's the most disheartening thing so far, is that we've lost 2 at home, and we normally don't do that, and we got to get back to those winning ways starting this Friday night. But our kids now, they're going to show up, they're going to battle, and that's what we asked of them. And if we can continue to do that, I think everything else will take care of itself.
Well, the weather was a big key in all the games last night. Did you do anything in practice this week, kind of getting your guys ready to handle the wetness of the football and all that kind of stuff?
No, because I really wasn't worried about the weather. I thought we could handle the football. We didn't have any fumbles. We didn't have any bad snaps offensively. The wind was the major thing. It was hard to throw the ball unless you had the wind at your back. The wind's blowing in your face. It may have been up to 25, 30 miles an hour, and footballs just don't travel in the wind that way. So, but that, as far as doing anything different based off of wet ball drills, we didn't do any of those. We didn't go under center. We stayed in shotgun all night long, and I thought our kids did a super job, especially Matthew Martin at center, snapping the ball to the quarterbacks all night long.
And that's a testament to discipline and staying focused, and you got to have a really good group that can get through those things, because it is different.
Oh, it is, but it's one of those deals where it's a trust factor. It's a trust factor that you've got a senior who's played in a bunch of ball games that's snapping the football for you, and he's played in all kind of different conditions and all kind of different situations. So we didn't feel like that was ever going to be an issue for us as far as snapping the football goes. But again, just the wind is just something that you cannot prepare for. You can prepare for rain, wet, cold. You can do those type of things, but the wind is just another totally different factor when you're talking about football.
And this week, y'all are getting ready to host Tennessee Heat, and this is a different kind of preparation for you this week because it is fall break week.
Right.
Is there anything that difference you're going to do or try to get them to focus because they are going to have that little bit of fall break time at the end of the game Friday night?
No, because our kids, they'll handle it. Friday will be a little bit different for them because we'll have our school-wide fundraiser. It's a little bit different because they'll have a little free time, but we'll try to help occupy that. But the big thing that we'll do is we'll go back to work on Monday, and we'll try to go back and try to straighten out the mistakes that we made, and we'll try to clean up a little bit more things offensively. And we'll put a thing or two back in offensively that we hadn't been able to do, and our kids will respond. I mean, I don't worry about what our kids' attitudes are going to be on Monday. I don't worry about what our kids are thinking about fall break. I think our kids will be itching to try to get back in the winning column and then go on fall break because we'll give them off for that entire week. So
exactly. Yeah, and we know that the support out there for Eagleville is like no other, and it's really unique. And I'm from afar, and now being able to see a little bit, I've always had a great respect for Eagleville and the fans and the community out there, and they are unique, and they're amazing people out there.
I mean, people say it all the time how special it is, and it truly is. And what makes it special is the kids. I mean, you have great kids that don't mind working.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Bowen's Body Shop. From dings and dents to full body work, trust Jeff and Kyle Bowen to do the job right. They're located on Middle Tennessee Boulevard.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
It's time to talk MTCS Sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
And we're back at the MTCS Cougar Corner. I'm joined today by Cougar head football coach Christian Peterson. Good morning, Coach. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing good. The Cougars came off a 35-7 loss last night to Friendship. 35-7, right?
Yeah.
35-7 loss to Friendship last night. But they're a solid football team, and I know the weather had a lot to do with that last night.
Yeah, it's never fun playing in a tropical storm. It's always just an added thing that you got to kind of fight through and work through. I think with the team that we have this year, with a lot of young guys, a lot of new guys, I think right now I feel like it's every week they're getting a new experience. And so I think it's going to bode really well for us in the future, right? I think they're kind of seeing all of the different anything that can happen has happened. And so, they're getting a lot of experience this year of a lot of different things, and I do think it's going to help us in the future as they continue to grow and develop a little bit.
Well, and you talked about some of your young guys, and obviously that's just going to really pay off for the future. But I think a big thing for those young guys was they got to see your success that you had last year. And, a lot of people think it's just going to come to them easy, but I think they're finding out that you got to pay your price and build and all that kind of stuff before you can actually get to that level.
For sure. It's a process. It's always a process. It's hard to win football games. It doesn't matter who you're playing, especially on the road. It's always going to be it's always tough to go out and find a way to win. It doesn't matter how good you are or how good the other team is. Every Friday night is it presents a new challenge, and again, I think our kids are learning. They're getting better. We're a young football team that I think they're starting to do things the right way more consistently than they have in the past, and so again, I still think the future is extremely bright. We're learning. we're playing a bunch of teams that are junior and senior starters, and it's good experience for them, because as they grow up and when they're juniors and seniors, I think we're going to be real sporty.
That's the biggest thing for me is and watching your team play and talking to other people around your program is how young you are and how much experience you're going to get now is going to really pay off on the back end. For sure. I mean, both of our outside linebackers last night were freshmen for us. One of our safeties was a freshman. Our nose guard was a freshman. The next DB that came in was a freshman. I think if you look at how they played week 1 to how they played last night, I think they're getting better. Right? They're getting much, much better. It's just there's a difference in a 14, 15-year-old body and an 18-year-old body. And, they're doing a good job in the weight room. I think we have the best strength conditioning staff in the state. And so, as long as they keep on that track and keep gaining experience, keep getting better, and keep getting stronger and keep letting their bodies develop, I think they're just going to keep getting better. Absolutely. And I've been asking all the coaches this morning, was there anything different that you prepared for this week, knowing you were going to go through some weather last night? And I know a lot of the coaches have talked about the wind, that you really can't practice for the wind, but did y'all try to do anything for this week? Not a whole lot different. We kind of, with what we do offensively, rain and stuff doesn't normally affect us too much. We ended up having to throw the ball a little bit more than we really would have wanted to in the conditions. I thought Briggs threw a couple balls that the wind caught it and just kept carrying the ball. I think the first 2 drives, we had 2 different opportunities to hit a go route for a touchdown, and the ball just kept going. And, we had another early drive where we throw it into the wind, and, we have him beat, and the ball just stops. And so, I know he was getting a little frustrated, but it's his first year playing quarterbacks, first year playing with a wind like that. I thought he handled it pretty well. I thought he was tough. Thought he stood in the pocket. Thought he moved around well. I thought our receivers worked to get open. It didn't fall our way. Yeah, and that's just growing up, and as you go forward here, you have a pretty good receiving core last night. Shy Murphy and Bangura and some of your other guys. You want to talk a little bit about your receiving core? Yeah. So Shy Murphy, he's lightning in a bottle. He's one that he got behind the defense a couple of times and the ball just kind of sailed a little bit. Ali, he's one of the freshmen. He's kind of a running back, slot kid. We kind of move him all over the place. Does a good job for us. I think Jaden Sanders has a really bright future for us. He just picked up an offer as a safety. He's only a freshman, and he's already getting D1 looks. And, he's one of the ones that's taken huge strides from week 1 to now. I think, the sky is the limit for him. It's just about getting him reps, right? It's just every day is a new day. And then Eric Bowling, he's a junior for us. It's his first year out playing football. And so he's another one that every day, every game, every something new happens, right? And he's able to learn from it. I think he's another one that's got a really bright future for us. Absolutely. And, I want to go back a little bit to your quarterback, Briggs Boyd. How are you feeling right now about his development as the year has gone on? I can't say enough about Briggs Boyd. The leader that he's developed into, he's kind of a quiet kid by nature. He's one of those, he wants to lead by example. But his voice has definitely grown throughout the year. He's gotten more and more confident. We've asked him to do a lot, and he's never flinched. He's never backed down. He's one of 4 seniors we have on the roster, and he fought all the way through last night. There in the second half, breaks a tackle in the backfield and then takes off and gets a 76-yard touchdown run. I think there's really 2 things on that play that really stand out, that we're still going in the right direction, right? He breaks the tackle in the backfield, right? It's the game's a little out of reach at that point, and he's still fighting to get free. And he gets into the open field and takes off,
And then Shy Murphy, one of our sophomores, he takes off in front of them and gets 2 big blocks to lead them into the end zone. And so to see that kind of effort there in the second half and to keep fighting is, it's always a really good sign and something you can kind of build on and, see that they're still fighting, they're still playing for each other. And so, it's plays like that are going to help us continue to set the foundation to just keep getting better.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit now about your defense. I know you've got a lot of young guys over there that you were talking about a little bit, but it looks like it's become a pretty solid unit for you.
Yeah, no, I mean they're getting better. They're getting better. We lost our middle linebacker. He broke his hand last week, and so we kind of had to shuffle some people around. And Cooper Jones, one of those freshmen, ended up kind of getting thrown into a starting role, and I thought he played well. Especially for a freshman playing his first region game. I think he ended up with like 11 tackles. Ali Banjura played the other outside linebacker. He made a couple of really big plays coming off the edge. Eric Bowling and Braden Box there, inside linebacker. Did a pretty good job coming up and filling a hole. Jaden Sanders, we asked a lot of him this week to go set the edge and be a physical player. You start asking your safety to basically have to play like an outside linebacker, especially in that weather. They're playing double tights with a fullback and a running back. They're going to run the ball, and so we're asking him to come down and play the run, and I thought he did a really good job. Again, I think D-line, I think we get better every week. Our nose guard's a freshman. He's going to be a really good player. He's a freshman. He's a baby. So one of the positives you really look at from the defense that we put out on the field, I think 9 of them come back, and then I think like 7 or 8 of them come back again then the following year.
Oh, wow.
And so we're going to be able to continue to just get better. And so as they continue to get in the weight room and continue to keep working, I think that group, and then it's really the same thing on offense. You start looking at it and going like, we had 2 seniors start, and then all of them are coming back basically next year, and then a lot of them will be back again the following year, and there's a lot of positives in that.
And that's a great thing, and I've had some teams do that where you had them for a couple of years. That's just going to bring continuity, brotherhood, and just a lot of really good things the next few years for Cougar football. Real quick though, I want to ask about what you got coming up. I know next week you're excited about. You're hosting South Pittsburgh, and I think that game is going to be on WGNS next week. And talk a little bit about the upcoming matchup.
Yeah, South Pittsburgh's another really good football team. They were state champs last year. They're always really athletic. They're always well coached. I think it's good for our young guys to see it. It's good for them to go out and see what that level is. They got to see it with the older guys with what we had last year, and so they know the level they need to get to, right? And we're not there right now. We're not, and so but it's about just continuing to work, right? Don't allow last week's game to affect this week's game, and the message doesn't change from last year to this year, right? Last year we go on, we win a state title. But it was still, don't let last week's win affect next week's game, right? It's still starting 0-0. It's no different. We got to make sure that the next game starts 0-0. It's a new opportunity, and go out and play fast, play physical, and fly around, try and make some plays, and give yourselves a chance.
Well, one of the things that I have noticed over the years, I was a little Cougar. I went to pre-K at MTCS, but seeing the fan support and then how much support you've gotten in the community that's now been, I don't want to date myself, it's been a long time ago, but what you have now at your games and what you see in the community, it's really unbelievable what MTCS has built and what they've become and the fan support that you get.
Oh, for sure. I think we have the best fans in the state of Tennessee. They're always there. They're loud. They're supportive. And it's a whole community, right? And so they're invested. They care, and I think that is how we were able to win it last year, and how we're going to be able to get it back this year, right? Is there's people that want to be successful. There's people that want to make sure that we have all the things we need in order to be successful. And so, I think that always helps. We're in a really good spot. The administration's great. The community's great. And again, we're just going to keep showing up and keep working. And, I can't say enough about our fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you've still got a lot to play for this year. And, I'm always curious, we get a little past the midway point and just kind of what the head coach is thinking. So kind of where are you at right now? Where do you think you need to get to? What are some of your goals for the next 4 weeks and possibly get into the playoffs?
Yeah. All of our region games pretty much are left, right? We had our first one last night. South Pittsburgh's a non-region game. And then we'll get fall break after that, and kind of get a reset. Try and get healthy, right? And, get some of those nicks and bruises and everything else kind of healed a little bit, and then we go into a 3-game stretch where it's all region games, and so you win those, you can still get to second in the region, right? You still get your home playoff game, and. Again, another experience that they get to have where, it's a little bit different than a regular season game. And then, you string a couple wins together, get some positive momentum going, you can put yourself in a really good spot.
Absolutely. And, everything's right there in front of you. And that's, controlling your own destiny and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of what you really want with 4 weeks to go in the season.
For sure. Yeah, there's definitely still a lot of positives. There's definitely a lot of things we can still play for. It's far from over, right? I told the kids even after we won our back-to-back and we'd won back-to-back games, and that, listen, guys, no one's judging our season right now. Like right, it doesn't matter, right? Like, we just got to go work and get better next week. No one's going to judge our season at fall break, right? They're going to judge it when it's over, right? And so we just got to come out and keep working, keep getting better. And I think if we stay on this trajectory that we've been on, I think we're going to put ourselves in a position to give ourselves a shot there, especially there at the end of the year, and start vying for a playoff berth. And once you get into the playoffs, it's anybody's game.
Absolutely.
It's a coin flip. So the most important thing is about putting the work in to try and get there, and then once you're there, just go play football and see what happens.
And have some fun, exactly. And I know one of the things that I've seen watching Cougar football is you have an extremely good staff and really good people that help you on both sides of the ball and in the weight room. And you want to talk a little bit about your staff and what they've meant to you and your program.
Yeah, no, fantastic staff. Most of them have been around for a while too, and I think that helps. It helps with continuity, helps with understanding what we're trying to do. On the offensive side, B.J. Robertson, he's been there since like 2016, 2017, and they've done a little bit of everything offensively. He's been there and he's seen all different types of kids come through. And so it's nice to have him kind of bounce ideas off of and figure out what we want to be offensively. And then like Ed Watson, Colton Gibson, Tyler Webb, all just really good guys that haven't stopped. They're still coaching. You go to the defense side of the ball. You got Anthony Kerr, who coached 20 plus years in college, so he's seen a little bit of everything. And so we've kind of been an enigma on defense, right? We keep tweaking things. We want to try and figure out the way to get our best 11 on the field. Rashid McGee, Carlos Rawls, you got Mike Aaron, a bunch of guys over there. Again, they've been around, they've seen it, they've been around for most of them for 6+ years, and so again, they know what MTCS is, they know our kids, and we all see it. We talk about it in the coaching office, like the future is so bright here, and it's just about they just need game reps, they just need to keep playing, and the more they play, the better they're getting. And so we're gonna end up putting ourselves in a good spot.
That's awesome. And, with the continuity with the staff and having such young kids and getting the experience for them from earlier, you're going to have them for another 2 to 3 years, some of them. And just talk about what your vision is with them and what you think the future could be for Cougar football.
Yeah, I think really for our whole team, I think the sky's the limit, right? I don't think we've even especially with the young guys, I don't think we've even scratched the surface of just how good we can be. I think some of them have seen it, the light bulb starting to flicker a little bit for them, and some of them, I don't know that they realize how good they can be. And so, again, I think just the more and more reps and staying in the weight room. We lift year-round with Jason Spray and Zach Willis. We have two former strength coaches from MTSU, and so it is
two of the best.
Absolutely. And so it is a true college weightlifting program that is year-round, and they do a great job. You look at our seniors. We had a bunch of seniors last year, and if you would have taken pictures of them from freshman to senior year, their bodies completely changed. And so you start looking at our young guys now, and you start projecting to what they're going to look like when they're juniors and seniors, and it's going to be fun. They're going to look the part, and they're going to be able to play fast, and they're going to have seen everything, and we're going to put ourselves in a spot to give ourselves a chance.
Absolutely. And I know one of the big things MTCS has always had is the Fall Festival. Is that still coming up? Is that around the corner?
So it just happened last weekend.
Last weekend,
yeah. It was a lot of fun. My 4-year-old was very excited to go to that, and as we were walking up to it, she's like, I love festivals. All you have to do at a festival is have fun. And so it's always a good event. And again, I think it's just people care, right? I think the MTCS community is there. They're supportive. And again, I think that's a big reason why I think the future is so bright, right? We have really good players, we have really good support, and it's going to get where it needs to get to.
Absolutely. And I know, obviously, too, there's a lot of construction going on, so you can see the additions that are coming on campus, and there's just a lot of excitement, too, even just about that.
Yeah, we're always building something, and really, I think in today's world, you've got to be. And I think our administration is doing it the right way. We're not getting ourselves in a whole lot of debt where we're worried year to year. I think it's how we're doing it is we're doing it the right way, and I think we're building things that the kids are excited about, the staff is excited about, and it's things that we need. We're not building things just to build them, right? Like we just built the new high school, and it's been great for us. I think having our high school kids in that brand new building has really helped. And then so now they're building the new ELC, the Early Learning Center for the 3 and 4-year-olds, be able to get them on campus, and that'll be awesome to get them over there with us. And so, again, I think everything's being built the right way. It's been done the right way. And so, we just got to keep working.
Well, we were looking forward to it, Coach. We know it's going in the right direction, and we're really looking forward to coming out Friday night and watching you against South Pittsburgh. WGNS will be there. We're excited about it, and good luck the rest of the way, and have a good weekend.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it, and looking forward to having you guys out there.
All right, this is MTCS head coach Christian Peterson. We appreciate you, Coach, and we'll be right back.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
We're back here on MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA. They'll help get you back in the game. Let's look at the scoreboard from the week. Not a whole lot here to pass along, but we do have some volleyball and soccer results and a little football news, of course, too. So on the 23rd, which was Monday, varsity volleyball with a 3-0 win over Riverdale. And also on Tuesday, a 3-0 win over USN, University School of Nashville. So a good week, as MTCS also won on Thursday in volleyball, 3-0 over FRA. So continuing to rack up the victories there for the volleyball team. It was the Webb School defeating MTCS Soccer 9-0, and PCA over MTCS Girls Soccer 8-1 in games this week. And that is a look at the scoreboard. So what's coming up here for the Cougars? Well, the 5th and 6th grade football going on right now, as a matter of fact, and that is at Tullahoma. And volleyball on Monday in the district quarterfinals. So they're working on the opponents and district meeting and all that kind of thing for volleyball as we get to the postseason. On Monday as well, MTCS Middle School Girls and Boys Tennis will host Oakland, and soccer, middle school soccer at Davidson Academy. The cross-country, middle school, and varsity in the TSIAA meet coming up this week as well. On the first, district semifinals for volleyball, so it's district tournament week for volleyball, so keep that in mind. Middle school on Tuesday. Football will battle Cannon County. It's a home game there. Girls soccer will travel to Friendship Christian also on Tuesday. Then to Thursday, hopefully we'll be talking about a district championship berth there for the Lady Cougars in volleyball. Soccer will be in the first round of tournament play as well. Middle school boys soccer will host Mount Juliet Christian Academy. And then football on Friday night as the Cougars host South Pittsburgh. And by the way, for you MTCS fans, no reason to not go to the game, but we're going to be there to broadcast the game on Friday night on WGNS Radio, wgnsradio.com, and also on Big G TV, weather permitting there. So looking forward to that on Friday night, getting to see the Cougars 2024 edition. And South Pittsburgh game will be fun. I know Christian was talking with Bill about that just a moment ago. So that is a look at the MTCS Cougar Corner scoreboard and schedule. Well, that will wrap things up this morning. Thank you so very much for joining us. Hope you have a great weekend. Got a lot to do, a lot of football. I know Tennessee and Vandy aren't playing, but the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders are, and it's an in-state game with Memphis. At Memphis this afternoon, 5 o'clock airtime, 6:30 will be the kickoff, and you can hear it on your flagship station for Middle Tennessee sports, News Radio WGNS. Next Saturday morning, we will have a coaches show next Saturday morning, so MTCS Cougar Corner on at 11:15. The following week, we will take a break for fall break and then return for the last third of the football season. That's hard to believe, regular season anyway. So that will wrap things up this morning. Thursday night, we will be at Oakland for Siegel Oakland, and again Friday night at the home of the Cougars as they battle South Pittsburgh. Thanks for joining us once again, and for Bill Hockenberry and John Dinkins, our producer, Dalton Barrett, I'm Brian Barrett. Wonderful Saturday to you all, and we'll see you back here next Saturday morning for another Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and MTCS Cougar Corner.
greater rate than the pension, which is likely going to underperform probably around 6 or 7% on average, versus what we've seen in the market. If it's in the IRA, you could be making, 9, 10, 11%.
Right.
And so the question is, the $1,800 a month, that's about $21,000 a year. Could you make that or more if you just invested it on your own with more control, and you can pass that down to your heirs? Because the pension dies with you, or worst case with your wife, right, with the 100% survivor benefit?
That's correct.
Versus creating generational wealth.
Right. That's kind of the lump sum option, since it looked like that is a qualified plan that would allow me to do the direct rollover and avoid the tax penalty. So I could push all that over into a self-directed IRA. It seemed like that was the direction, but I wanted to make sure I was kind of thinking all the variables in the equation out as best I could.
Let's have some fun with this. Let's put this. You said you're 60.
Yes.
Okay. Let's take the 300, George, on the lump sum. And George has got his investment calculator out, David. This is where this really becomes a super easy decision for you. So run those numbers. Let's say
60 to 67. You just drop $300,000 in there. You don't touch it.
I was going to say to 70.
You want to say to 70?
Well, let's ask you, David. You want us to run the numbers on what that 300 becomes in 10 years or 7 years?
You don't need this.
Or 15.
Right? This is not money you need as soon as you start retirement. You're not going to start withdrawing from it.
The plan would be to not. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, great. So what? Let's say 70. Let's just do 10 years. What that 300K is.
So 10 years with a 10% return, which is what we've seen on average for average annual returns for the S&P 500. You would have $812,000 in that account. Wow. So you made $212,000 on that in 10 years.
Right, and that keeps me. That means I'm not losing money by just taking the annuity.
Exactly. Now, if you took the annuity, $1,800, $21,000, 10 years, it's $210,000. And so, it could be apples to apples. The difference is it's in your control, and you're probably going to see greater returns over the long haul.
And I guess that's probably the other part of it, is being able to control it and making sure it's not under. It's a money that a third party controls and sends to me, and something that. One day, oh, sorry, the pension had just gone bust.
Exactly.
And people like annuities because it's guaranteed, and so if you're real spooked by the market. But as a guy who's been investing for a long time, you know that as long as you don't jump off the roller coaster when you get spooked, you're going to do better.
I want to play this out a little bit more, David, because life expectancy. Let's jump that, George. Let's take that 300 and let's do it in 20 years. Let's see what it looks like at 80.
At 80, your results, $2.2 million. And again,
that's
likelihood
my favorite
of you,
sound right there.
You
David,
probably don't need that money.
I think David needs a cigarette. It's what he needs. He's sitting back. He lit one